And the Oscar for Best Dive in the Stanley Cup Playoffs goes to Tim Stützle. Round 1, Game 3 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hello and welcome to The House That Happened, sponsored by Shoey's Bar and Grill, the only place to be in suburban Etobicoke, voted 4 times the best dive bar in all the GTA, number 1 in our hearts, the Phoenix rising from the ashes. Hi, my name is Andrew Milani.
Hi, my name's Cruz. How you doing, buddy?
Great. How about yourself?
Outstanding, outrageous, catalysmic, all those other fun things. There's been so much sports on TV, I'm thinking I need a new pair of glasses because I'm burning my eyes out.
Me too, I believe.
Keeping the PVR going. And even though I'm the master of the multi-screen, I'm telling everybody, it's hard to watch everything all the time.
Yes.
You know what's going to happen?
Especially hockey.
Yeah, it's going to be a drag, though. Already, I can feel it. When it gets to be like in a month, and it's like the semifinals, and you got a game here, and you got a game here, and you're waiting for them. It's already going through withdrawal because we got so much right now on both fronts with NBA too.
Yeah.
So in about a month, we get to those semifinals, we'll be going, can they play them every other day so we'll have a game a month? That's what's going to happen, and then it's over.
Yeah, I just hope that for basketball and hockey, like they space it out where like they don't stack too many of them like on the same night.
Yes, that's the whole idea. So we can see all of it all of the time.
Yes, sir.
And even though here at the house that we're saying we'll get that a little bit later, the NHL has definitely have a little bit more of a shine than the NBA, but we got lots of playoffs to go, so things could change.
And lots to talk about here today, but before we start on the big sports news, do you have any shout-outs this week?
Well, would be remiss if we didn't say God bless the Pope, correct?
Absolutely.
God bless the Pope. You know what? Can I say this? Because I just thought I'd put it out there, and the old lady said, well, it's kind of crazy about it. I guess the funeral was this morning on national TV everywhere. Everybody's going blah, 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 blah about the Pope. Then the rest of the year, they'll bash the Catholic Church. Kind of weird, eh? Like, most of the time when I hear Catholic Church, I hear something negative, and then the Pope dies and the whole world stops. So people, don't be hypocritical. Because you know what the great thing is, I always say, if you find faith in something greater and it brings the community together and it promotes positivity, let's continue to do it. Let's look at it that way. Get rid of the negatives, people. We got too many.
Absolutely. Also a big shout out for the election coming up this week. Liberals, conservatives, I'm going for you going out to vote. That's my team. You going out to vote.
Yes.
We had apparently record numbers for the advanced poll.
25% increase.
Wow. I'm hoping that that continues that trend as we get closer to the election. So I'm going for that. And I'm going for these terrible commercials to get off TV.
Oh, my God. I'm with you on all sides. On all sides. Every party, every stripe. Can you get rid of that shit? How much can we believe your bullshit?
I know.
From all of you. Please stop. But like you said, the number one thing is this. Get out and vote. That's what we here at the House That Happens. Thank God my good buddy here, Mr. Milani, is already gone. I will be going again, and I will be bringing my granddaughter again to make sure we do it because it's your civic duty. And I wish we did like in Australia. If you don't vote, you get fined.
Oh, wow.
That's what happens.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
So what happens if you get a tax return, they just take a chunk off. If you don't, so if you got a $200 tax return, they say, we take it $100. Why? You didn't vote.
Yep.
That's a good thing. You know what I mean? At least I believe it's that way. And don't believe the hype and don't believe the polls. Just get out there.
Yep, just go out and vote. And I don't know if it's just like recency bias, but it seems like these commercials are just finding new levels of hilarity and awfulness.
Yes. Oh, no kidding. You know what I'm saying? And people are going to get upset with this is that who's got the money. The party's got the money because all of a sudden you're seeing commercials from the other parties that you didn't see because they only had the money to put them on now. So we should know basically how our system, so to speak, is working. And I think it's bullshit on all sides, some of the commercials that come up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets about 2 degrees from personal.
It's more about bashing the other guys than promoting your own party.
Yes,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And we want to know on a positive level what you're going to do. But I think a lot of it has come out, and it's going to be interesting. I should tell you what, Mike, we're on the air. We're not a political show, but I've already predicted what I think is going to happen. It's in an envelope. When it happens, I'll rip it open and say, see? That's all I'm going to say. You know
very game show.
Yes,
like you.
Exactly. That's what I do because I'm not here to. And another thing out there, I'm still going to like you whether you vote or not. Because what people should understand is this: oh, your party's going to lose, then you're a loser. No. Government works like this. No matter who wins, they got to take care of all of the people. Yeah. Remember that. No matter what side, what stripe, whatever you believe, when the goes in there, they're serving liberals, conservatives, NDP.
Everybody.
everybody, and we're huge about that at the House That Happens.
Absolutely. Any more shout-outs for yourself?
Can we please welcome Metallica to town?
Yes, sir.
Big show on Thursday night, I heard was absolutely off the charts. I think it's Zach Wilde is doing an amazing job in Pantera, because this is the return of Pantera and the return of Suicidal Tendencies, who are opening the show. And if you know anything about Suicidal Tendencies, they're a really cool metal band, and they're actually the bass player in Metallica now. What's his name? Torello. I always say his name wrong. He was in Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So not only that, James Hetfield was at the relief game.
Yes, he was. Game 2.
Game 2, he was at it. And because a lot of people don't know that, Hetfield and Lars are sports fans. Being Lars' dad was a professional tennis player once upon a time. But the main thing I want to shout about Metallica is, if you're going to the show, I know the tickets are insane. Big shout out to Zach and the crew. They're going. Is that, remember this, we always say fan friendly too, right? Metallica, if people that just are more sports people and don't understand what's going on, Metallica played on Thursday and they're playing on Saturday. What's their theory? They don't play 2 nights in a row because they don't want to be burnt out. They want to give it to the fans. They want to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, because then don't have to worry about fans going to work.
Yep.
Like a lot of people blow Friday, so they went Thursday night. They probably didn't go to work on Friday. That happens, right? But I think it's cool. They come here for 4 days. They've been all over the city, jamming with the guys from Rush, doing all kinds of crazy things. But to put their presence in town, it's no take over Taylor Swift kind of thing, but it's got its own little niche that's really, really cool. Thank the guys from Metallica. And then also shout out to Sandman, our Toronto only sanctioned Metallica tribute, sanctioned by Metallica, who is also playing around the city. So I want to shout out to those guys too.
Awesome.
Enjoy the show. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be missing Metallica myself because I'm going to see DeWeasel Zappa.
Hey, there we go.
I'm that kind of guy. Okay,
we don't want to get fined or whatever, in trouble for you humming the song there.
There you go.
Any more shout-outs?
No, we're good.
Unfortunately, we have to reference the 2018 Hockey Canada lawsuit. It's called a mistrial yesterday. They'll have to get a new jury of 14 people.
What do you think went on? Nobody's saying.
Probably bias, if it has to do with the jury.
I think somebody knew somebody and said they're on this side of the fence. No, we can't use you. Like, I wonder how they found that out. Like, I mean, all of a sudden they said mistrial, getting a new jersey, but getting a new jury, and nobody tells you shit.
Yeah.
Wonder why? How do you think their moms and dads feel?
With the accused?
Yeah. Like, you got to watch your son walking into the court and everybody the details.
I don't want to speculate about that, but I mean, we should.
That's shame matter. I don't feel sorry for him. If the truth comes out and you're whatever, which I hope it isn't, this is a nasty situation. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I hope I never hear about this kind of shit again from our good Canadian boys, because when you're playing for a national
these weren't good Canadian boys.
No, but if you're playing for anyone out there, and if you're listening, especially younger guys, when you put on the maple leaf and you're representing our country on the ice, you're also ambassadors to all of us around the world.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So this is going to be a grease spot on our legacy of junior hockey, and something we're going to get over. But
bigger than a grease spot.
Well, yeah, probably.
But we are going from a jury of, I believe, 11 women, 3 men to 9 women, 5 men. Not that that matters too much, as like Rick Westhead was talking about. Like, he said he spoke to a lawyer about this, not involved in the case, and he was saying, if you're a lawyer concerned about like the gender breakdown of the jury, you're a bad lawyer.
You're already in trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say my opinion about lawyers because I put them in the same category as agents.
Either way, we will just hope that justice is served here.
Yes, that's number one. Justice is served. You know, that was someone's daughter. Always put it into perspective, or someone's sister, or whatever the case may be. So let's hope that gets over with, really done, so there'll be no more speaking about it.
For sure. And that is it for shout-outs?
Mm-hmm. I think that's enough. I think we should get to that was the appetizer. Let's get to the main meal, which is the 2024-25 season Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Yes. So this is your house. This is the chaos. So would you like to lead off with the Leafs up 3-0 or Montreal taking it back to 1975?
Okay, we're going to get that in a minute. We're going to talk about all the series in a minute, but let's just I'm gonna put this. What is playoff hockey, bro? Can you tell me what playoff hockey is? Alluding to Montreal and Washington being 1975 last night. What is playoff hockey? Can you give me a definition?
Guys sharpening their skates and their sticks, elbows up, whistles in the pockets.
Okay, so as a fan, and you bring somebody out here, I just want to say this. I understand what playoff hockey is. I'm an old guy. I've been watching this shit. That's why it's funny you can say 1975. However, I still want to I love the intensity. Don't get me wrong. I love all the intensity. But there has to be something said about what do you call and when you call it. Come on, bro.
Yes.
There's been some egregious shit going on. Your boy Marner, stick to the head. Cross-check to the face. Nothing happened.
Tripped in the final minute of Game 3.
Nylander.
In the slot, no call.
Nylander going down the sideline. Looked like someone was pushing him out of bounds like it was a football play. No call. Caulfield almost loses teeth. No call. McDavid, slew-footed. Oh, we didn't see that. The play was going the other way. I could go on and on and on. And I'm just saying, do you believe that it's the time of the game? That thing, is it not calling it?
Yeah, that definitely plays a factor. Because I was like, with the Marner one, I'm like, that's got to be a penalty. My brother's like, they're not calling that this late in the game. I'm like, come on.
Okay, but you see, then what happened last night in the Habs game was, it was late in the game. The last penalty was called. It was like only 6 minutes left in the game, and it was tight. But the guy, Dvorak's skates were above his head. Mm-hmm. You got to call.
Yeah.
like I said, okay, as soon as I seen it, because I was watching my wife, went, oh, what's going on there? And I said, don't worry, dear, that one they got to call. And they did call it. Like when the guy's feet is above his head. But then you take it one step further. Hagel didn't even call a penalty during the play. And what do we have there? We have a suspension.
Suspended now.
But we'll get to that. I just want a couple other things I just wanted to say about that. Is it the time of the game? But I think that what should be happening here is they should change the rules so that these guys either start a fight or quit the dirty shit. Or as you said, did ESPN make the call? We had so much fun at the Four Nations, just amp up the violence.
You're telling on me.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, and I'm not the violence guy here. I'm the guy going, you know what I'm thinking? But
well, the ESPN joke was a little tongue-in-cheek, but I mean, it's not like when NBC was carrying it for the states that we weren't seeing this exact same shit. Come on.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I've been saying it all season. There seems to be an uptick.
Yeah.
And where's the highlights go? Put on SportsCenter. It was hockey playoffs. What's the first thing they go to? Not even a goal sometimes. They go through to some insanity that they've shown.
Well, we're watching the replay of the Habs Caps game from last, and this is where the rough stuff started at the end of the second period.
Yeah. WrestleMania. I love they got into the bench, so that's 1975.
That was the 1975 part I was alluding to.
But that's because you know what? Now it's boiled over. No one got a chance to fight. Drop the gloves and get it over with. But we can't.
The only time you'll see a fight is maybe in the final couple minutes of the game in the playoffs.
So you're saying that Ottawa's going to try to get their pound of flesh tonight?
I mean, not if the Leafs are winning at the end of the third period. I think you just got carry it and go home. What are you gonna do? Set it up for next season? Come on, that's a joke.
But I'm just saying I'm saying that what happens is it's like you got the thing and you're ramping it up and you're ramping it up, or you're blowing up the balloon.
Yeah,
you're blowing up the balloon. Better bop this thing, or it's gonna go eventually. And then you get this, which is a bunch of bullshit anyway. And then you see how diplomatically they put the penalties. They worked it all out. I went, oh, okay, so there was only one minor in it, which was a minor was deserved. But then again, you go to the Tampa, Florida game, and when Hagel hit Barkov, not that Barkov was any angel. I don't see Barkov going around the ice with a halo over his head. Let's get that straight. However, that's in the action of the game. You just run up and freaking juice a guy like that, and they don't even call it. And then they go, well, let's go to Toronto and have a little meeting. And, oh, gee, we better suspend him. That would have been 2 or 3 games regular season, I think.
Ooh.
He would have got 2 for sure because he's a first-time offender.
I think it still would have been 1.
That was the biggest fuck you I've seen in hockey in ages. What was that?
What, the Hagel play?
Yeah. Fuck you. You know, I almost heard him say it. And the Yanks quit doing this? We know when they got the power play, they got the guy's name above his head. Can they quit doing that? That irritates the shit out of me. And my number one bitch about it all, and we figured it out, that thank you God here in Canada we're keeping it away. Good old shot attempts. Minnesota had 74 shot attempts, but the shots on goal were only 24.
Shouldn't that tell you something about the game, though? That's still information.
In golf, they would call that you missed the fairway. In basketball,
That's still
they would
valuable
call you a
information, don't you
brick.
think?
In baseball, you would be striking out. I guess it's information from that point of view. You just know that's one of my pet peeves. Don't show me the scoring attempt because that tells me you can't hit the fucking net. And
it
you know
is.
what's good
We
about
did
it?
talk about this off the air. It is like nowadays, especially like with the way analytics have developed. It's a overvalued stat. The one I look at more that I think is way more valuable is how much possession you have in the offensive zone.
Excellent. I will tie that in because that's one of the guys will say, well, they got these shot attempts because they have this much time of possession. I'm more concerned with that because then it just gets back to my other pet peeve, the overpassing. However, just shoot the puck.
But that's still possession in the offensive zone, though.
True. But I'm just saying shoot the puck. What happens when you shoot the puck?
We're seeing a little bit more of that.
Yes, we're seeing a lot more of it because your boy scored in overtime unexpectedly from the back end. The French kid let one go. And you know what? The key to it is, and I've heard at least 3 guys say this, and this made me laugh. They go, well, when you do shoot the puck, make sure it's on the net. Well, what are you trying to hit? The goddamn netting? Shut up.
I mean, that's the same stuff you say on this podcast.
That's what I mean. But I mean, put the puck on the net. And they go, oh, he got the shot on the net. Isn't he supposed to put the shot on the net? Because another thing I've been noticing that, and you bring this up, and we've been talking about it a little bit, where I've always say, shoot the puck, shoot the puck, shoot the puck. And you're saying, got to have possession and possession. A lot of goalies aren't clean on the rebounds, including your boy Stallers, my boy Montembeault, what's his name? Vasilevsky, the first game against Florida, 2 goals were directly related to him. Like, what are you doing, buddy? On like leaving the rebounds. So if those guys weren't peppering the front of the net, we wouldn't have the opportunity to get those rebounds because you'd be passing around in circles until the puck left the zone. So you know what I'm saying?
Getting a shot clean on net, though, is easier said than done now, especially like the way guys like are blocking the passing lanes. A lot of teams in the playoffs are like built like in Ottawa where like they just clog up every lane, or at least they're trying to, right?
Exactly. But you know what? I'm still saying, like, bounce it. Maybe the puck will bounce off Saudi. You guys got an inadvertent goal one time, bounced off the guy.
Sure.
What's his name? The
even the overtime winner.
Yes, there you go. That's what I'm saying. Let it go. And I've seen that. Like I'm noticing that about Florida. Not only on their forecheck, they're just coming over and letting it rip. Whereas opposed when Washington's playing Montreal, they're forechecking like crazy, but they're carrying it and going. Don't you notice? You watch Florida, they just start firing the puck. I think that what they did is they're seeing a little Vasilevsky chink or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing, especially when he bounced those rebounds.
I've told you about that like 3 years ago, the Vasilevsky chink.
Yeah, there you go. You know?
Or I guess 2 years ago when we first started talking Leafs here on this podcast. But I guess, do you want to get right to the Leafs series?
No,
or Montreal first?
I'm not done yet. I'm going, here's a Leaf advantage because one thing that I've noticed is this. If you can have your minutes distributed over these games with a great third or fourth line, that's going to serve you well in the semifinals. And I'm starting to believe, you know what I'm saying? It's getting crucial now because already guys are getting banged up. But what I've noticed, and I was just telling you when you came in, your fourth line is the perfect shutdown, whatever, fourth line. Like if they get caught on the ice against the number 1 line, that's not a liability to you guys. Minnesota's got that third line that they're doing it with. Montreal's got the Dvorak line that's doing it. LA's got the line, what's his name, Engel or whatever. But every team that seems to be winning, that's pulling ahead or getting an advantage, they have that. Because you know your top 6 is your top 6.
Yeah.
What's your difference on your bottom 6? And if they're producing and they're taking minutes, that's got to be great for you down the road.
Yeah, and like in the cap era, that's a lot of the time, especially in the final, that's been the difference. I mean, not to get ahead of ourselves here, but that's been the key difference between the team that wins and loses the cup.
Every time. But
Philly, that's a big one where Chicago was able to throw out like a 5th, 6th defenseman out there. Philly just had a top 4. Chicago had 4 lines they could roll out. Philly only had 3.
You got it. And that's what I've been noticing now. As long as like what you're saying is everybody keep their feet moving.
Yeah.
That's the huge thing here. Another thing is I've really noticed is the teams that don't come out physical, you better rate off. We know this is playoff hockey. We're talking about all the zaniness that's going on. I noticed in one game, Vegas come out kind of dipsy-doodled, bunch of goals.
Yep.
Winnipeg came out in St. Louis and said, what are we going to do tonight? Before they knew what was happening, bang.
That's a little bit of a balancing act, though, because you don't want to come out too hard in the first 10 minutes and like just lose.
That's what happened to Washington.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Washington did that. But you know what I'm saying? You better be ready to bring your physicality in the first 10 minutes.
Because I noticed with the Leafs, what they've been doing is like, especially games 2 and 3, Ottawa came out very hard, but the Leafs didn't panic. Just kind of like weathered the storm after the first 10 minutes. That's like, okay, now like we can really play.
Yes, we're going to talk about that when we get to the Leafs too. Another thing I want to say, not only that, is that special teams is making a difference in these plays. If you take a look around, like you better make sure you be able to kill a power play. Like a couple of games, and look at it, we'll get to that. The Colorado Dallas series, Exhibit A. Like, I'm not saying
Toronto-Ottawa.
Well, we're going to get to that too. You know what I'm saying? And the other number one, which happens, I want just say for a minute, that we talk about shots on goal and guys blocking shots and stuff. The other key in every sport, it's the same thing. If you're losing the turnover battle, you're losing the game.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You see that a lot with basketball, but with hockey, it's an underrated aspect of the game.
Very under. And a few times during the game, including my beloved Canadians, Lane, turn the puck over in the wrong spot, in the wrong part of the game. Red light goes on. They put an L beside your name. L stands for Lane. I thought it stood for loser in that case, but we'll get to that also. Okay?
You know he's still under contract for one more season, right?
Well, we'll deal with that. We'll take him out to the woodshed.
At least it's only one more season.
We'll take him out to the woodshed. We'll get to
fuck.
that. And then the other thing is, how many teams do you think are going to start going to a 5-man
forward for power play?
Yeah. The highest power plays in the playoffs right now are the 5-teamers. That's LA.
Oh, and the Leafs got ripped for this early in the season. Now it's finally paying dividends.
People are starting to look around and go, like, who's the main culprits are LA, Toronto, Vegas, and who else? It's basically 4 teams, because when you got a Hedman, you're going to put him out there.
Yeah, same with Colorado with Makar, right?
With Makar. Oh, that's the guy. Well, they got Makar.
Dallas has Harley on the power play.
Harley's got it out there. Washington always puts Sandin on there because they have a guy out there. Ottawa always puts Sanderson out there.
Well, Sanderson's, he's amazing.
Oh, his stock has risen. He's not, but we'll get to that in a minute. But he's got nothing to be shamed about being down 3-0.
Oh no, absolutely not.
He's been there. But that's the things that I wanted to talk about before we got to the individual series, because there are all the things that come up in playoff hockey that you say, well, what's making the difference? What does this do? What does that do? And it's the minutia of the game that we always forget that ends up being something that decides win or lose. Because look at the scores, you know. Look at the scores, but it's been insane. It's been insane. You know, another thing that I've noticed too is that depending on the teams, there's the intensity in the games is a certain level. Say that's all the intensity is at 8. Sometimes it goes to 11, like with Montreal and Washington. You get that level of intensity, but how they get there in every game is completely different. That's what's so fascinating. You know what I mean? It's like going to the restaurant and you get a different meal every time, but it's great. That's when you're like, oh, this game, all right, we're having steak. Oh, this game, we're having prime rib. You know, that kind of deal. It's going, hey, this is pretty good, even though it's not the same. You know what I'm getting at?
These are the best chicken tacos I've had in my life.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. And you see it, because I've noticed it when, like I said, being spoiled that I am watching the 2 games. You notice the pace in the games are different. You notice how they're playing a little different. But the physicalities and the way they go, like, this Florida team, which we will get to, oh boy. And I thought we would see the same out of Vegas, but we'll get to them in a minute. So where do you want to start in the playoff season? We're going to start right off with your boys.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
So is having a good goalie like actually just been the goaltending and power play and coaching? I think those are the 3 key things why the Leafs.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But you got to remember this, though, when you're talking about that, is you have to remember what I think is great for the Leafs is you always hear about the big four. Look at their numbers. Okay, their numbers, they are leading the charge, but your back end guys are
all of them have had their moments too.
All of them had the moments, but then it gets...
Big 5 you could say with Riley.
Oh yeah. He's been he's playoff Riley, as you like to call him. But not only that, in the course of these games, like I was saying about having that 3rd or 4th line, like if you see like what's his name, Lawton? Remember I told you in the year it's not going to be bad if you, because I said, why'd they trade for
You
this
weren't
guy?
initially on that page.
No, but now but that my thing was, well, if you got him, and you say, well, you can't play on the 4th line, and I said, well, if you got it, he's the best 4th line center.
Oh, well, I'm happy I was wrong about that.
Yeah, because that line looks good. I know they're playing table hockey, but they're playing damn good table hockey. Okay.
Well, I would say that 4th line's more than just a table hockey line, but
yes, they do, and they're physical. and they're skating, because that's one thing is another
They
thing.
don't play in their own zone a lot, which I think that's the number one for your fourth line.
No,
just get the puck in their end as much as possible.
And they've been doing that.
Yep.
They've been doing it. But that being said, okay, even on the lines, I'm going to say this, and I don't give a shit what anyone says. Austin Matthews is one of the best hockey players I've seen in all these playoffs. I don't give a shit. He's got 1 goal, but what's he got, 5 assists?
I believe so. Him and Marner. That line has been amazing.
And not
that
only
the Marner pass to Matthews.
Unbelievable.
That was incredible.
Unbelievable.
Just the angle that Marner had to get he had to lift his skate, the angle he had to get to. That's
and tape to tape.
Yeah.
And tape to tape. That's what's getting.
Come on, guys. How can you not say he's one of the best playmakers in the league?
But I mean, now, is there a different vibe going on in the city about these guys, which is only temporarily? Because when one of the
No. Come on. These guys, games 2 and 3, those are games that the Leafs would have lost in the past.
Perhaps.
No, because think about it. Because both games, it was kind of like the same thing where they went through a 10-minute stretch, not allowing a shot on goal. And then that one breaks through. But then the Leafs were like, okay, we'll just carry on. If that was Keefe, come on, they would be crumbling. He'd be screaming on the bench, freaking losing his mind. He's petrified. Berube, the calming presence on the bench, doesn't want his guys going too high. Remember Savard jumping up and down after the first goal? He's like, calm it down, buddy. Don't want to get too high. Don't want to get too low.
Okay, so
that's a great
I'll tell you
leader.
what Berube is. What Berube's got is that look. And if he looks at you with that look, you better tie your skates. Like when Robertson did his little faux pas in the game with that turnover. Sit down. And I'm loving Robertson, who, by the way, will play for Montreal next year and score 30 goals. But that's another side story.
By the way, we should put a little finishing bow on this. Nyes did not get to 30 goals, so our Slavkovsky Nyes bet
is still on. Yeah, I thought you were going to get it. What did he get? 29? 29. We're going. And Slavkovsky could get 30 next year, but it's
just going to be a matter of who does it first next season.
First. You got it.
But anyways,
another thing is that we already brought up is the thing when you watch players and you see what's going on. And I'm saying this Toronto series is, are you guys playing the left wing lock? Are you guys playing the trap? The guy sitting across the table from me who says, back in the day, that was horrible hockey. What are they doing? What are they doing? Now, I'm not saying 10 minutes without a shot in goal.
It's not pure left-wing lock, but it's kind of like a hybrid, let's call it.
And I will give you I'm glad you called it a hybrid, because what the difference is this. If they get the puck, and that's why Marner and
they can spring guys up for breakaways,
that's
right? Yeah.
what it is. They've got the transition game out of the lock, so you forget.
Because they got the speed and the skating.
Yes, yeah. So when you think they're playing the lock, and all of a sudden they switch it out of that transition game, because last year they would just be playing that transition game. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes thinking they're going to just skate the other team off up and down the ice. But the defensive responsibility is unbelievable, which makes the game uneventful, so to speak. But I don't think it's uneventful.
I don't think it's low event
if you get
hockey.
to overtime.
Yeah,
it's still high level intensity. Okay, so you're not getting the ends to ends or stuff like that, but it's like a good movie. You're waiting for that inning. Here it comes. You know what I mean? And I think it's been great. And what you do is because you see these players before, but you see them not like our opening with our buddy with the 2.5 and the twist. He should have been in the Olympics for diving. But then you see other guys like, this Dylan Cousins guy. He's a pretty good hockey player. Okay?
Yeah.
But he's not a shit disturber, so why are you trying to be one? A couple times in front of the net. He's been doing that.
Dylan Cousins?
Yeah, a little bit in front of the net. And I'm going,
I think he's just looking. He's struggling a little bit. It seems like for me that I said he would call a couple goals. Still hasn't happened. I guess could still happen tonight. Knock on wood.
Yes.
But I think he's still looking for still looking for ways to kind of get himself in the game, because since he's been traded to Ottawa from Buffalo, his numbers really haven't improved, and he wasn't already having a good season on Buffalo.
There you go. So all of a sudden I notice him trying to do, like, if they get in a little scrums or something, he does a little shit. I haven't seen him too much more. And that's what, if it was regular season, someone would just bitch slap him and say, stop this shit right now. As opposed to a guy like Sanderson, who you got to watch him every time he's on the ice, because he's doing everything.
Yeah, and we were a little bit worried about Ottawa having to trade Chikrin, and we're like, how's this going to work out? But him, Shabbat, I guess, as their top two on the left side, they look pretty set now.
Oh, yeah, they should be pretty good.
Sanderson's going to hold it down that blue line for the next, 10, 15 years.
Oh, easy. Didn't they redo his contract? No, it's Chikrin.
8 year. No. Sanderson does have an 8-year extension.
Oh, he does?
It kicked in, I believe, this year.
And it's good money, considering what his age
or something.
Yeah, he's down the road. That's going to be, which is a smart move to be doing in sports these days. Sign him early, so you beat the cap later. But whatever the case may be.
Well, you brought up Dylan Cousins. I want to bring up the real shit disturber on Ottawa, Nick Cousins.
Oh,
shooting a puck at his former teammate that they won a cup with last year.
Okay, you know what, Cousins? I got
the
the wrong. I'm
pregame.
probably
Come
Dylan.
on.
I'm talking about him
Nick
too.
Cousins?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's another piece of shit. Like, come on, buddy. What's the point?
He's just being a douchebag.
$25K.
I thought it was 2,000.
He got 2,000. Team got 25.
Woo!
So that's $27K for that little practice shot, dickhead.
What dumbass.
I know, but you know what it is? It's gamemanship. But so what? That's still a piece of
That's potentially
vulcanized
dangerous,
rubber.
though. So my buddy Marco, the notorious Tavares hater, he was a former goalie in, I believe he played single A, double A as a goalie. Either way, he was saying yesterday how as a goalie, like you gotta view it like armor, like chainmail, where it's like it's designed to be. You're supposed to take pucks a certain way. If you're not expecting it, could hit you in the wrong place, and the guy can get injured.
Oh, 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Because and you're set. If you're not set when the puck's coming,
Exactly.
last time I checked, that's vulcanized rubber.
Yep.
Just saying. You know what I mean? I've been hit with a puck before.
Yeah, not fun.
No, especially in the shin.
Yeah.
I danced around pretty damn good.
Yeah. So congratulations, dickhead. I hope it was worth the 2,000.
Yeah, but you know what? He's going to come out tonight, and this is the scary thing that you guys have
come
to
out on the fourth line.
Okay, but you know what? What's going to happen tonight is it's going to be a spirited game on Saturday night in Ottawa. Okay,
Agreed.
we know that.
There's going to be more Leaf fans tonight, though, I think.
They've been really going out of their way to try to block tickets to Leaf fans. Eh?
We saw this a couple years ago with Florida, too, right?
They tried so hard. Like some of the things they were talking about on different shows, like, oh, this ticket place suddenly stops, or somebody.
We talked about it a little bit, too, last week.
Yeah, and it's even more obvious. But tonight I heard there's more they're getting in there. I don't know, but you know what? It's called capitalism. You got your tickets, whatever you want to do with them, do with them. I would be selling mine, but that's another story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I'm worried about is tonight. Not worried about. It's not my team. I hope you guys doing well. The city.
Well, hold on.
feels
Before we move on to tonight's game, Stolars, God bless this man.
Oh, he's unbelievable. Steal of the year.
100%.
Steal of the year.
And then this is a guy like July 1st. We're going like, well, I guess.
Why didn't more people want him? You heard
your
boy.
A little bit of. Well, hold on. It was a little bit of an injury history with him. It wasn't a huge red flag, but it was there. Yep. And also just the games played. He last year was, I believe, his game high, and it was or season high in a season. I think he only started
20 some.
Yeah, not even 30.
20, yeah, I didn't start
something
30
like the high 20s.
But the key thing is this: why weren't other teams looking at him? And now that you're talking about it, other teams were looking at him. He basically picked Toronto, so you guys are lucky. Because he basically, what's coming out now, like everyone goes, why didn't you try to get him? Why didn't you try to get him? Well, I guess other teams were trying to get him, but he said, I kind of want to play there. Good for
Having
him.
Matthews and Marner and Nylander and Tavares.
Good for him.
Toronto, the mecca of hockey. Not to be that guy, but.
Oh, and knowing that they only had a young goalie in Wall, so his opportunity to play more was wide open. And beginning, when they started camp, Wall was supposed to come out of camp as the number one. That was the Leaf game plan. But it doesn't matter.
But I mean, that might have been a little bit overstated because I think they were looking at it closer to a 50-50 split anyways.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Now, if something goes on and you got to put Wall in the net, are you worried about it?
No.
Of course not. You guys are absolutely, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely no problem.
Moving it up, the defense, tremendous. Having those 5-6 guys. Benoit's becoming a folk hero in this town, the way he's going. I'm like a couple big games away from getting a Benoit jersey. This guy's insane.
At the house that happens, check the tape. There's a guy on this show. He's got a gray afro who has said, that's your guy. That's your guy. And you think about it, at times they were thinking about yanking him out of the lineup. But
that's just like the media talking. And there was never any indication from the Leafs that they were going to do that, though.
But that's why I was always banging the
drum. Because he was in the lineup every night. I don't remember, maybe early on he might have been a healthy scratch one or two times, but
and he made the odd mistake, but he has you know what they always say? He has the intangibles.
I agree.
That's what he has, and that's why
he's got a screw loose. That's what I like about him.
Okay, maybe I don't care. I just said he was one of the guys.
You want a guy like that. You need it. No, you need a guy like that. Let me correct myself.
Yes, exactly.
That's the factor we've been missing ever since we trade Kadri in that fucking terrible deal, but not to dwell on that.
Horrible deal.
Yeah.
Well, you guys just basically shipped him out of town because you were pissed at him. You kept doing the same thing, so you get rid of him.
They overreacted, though.
Yes, 100%.
That's bad economics. You trade him when his value's at his lowest. You don't do that.
And you know what? Think about if he was on the team now and at the money that he would be paid at and where the salary cap is, he'd be a steal. You guys would have been like, and imagine him being your third line center or your fourth line center. Because Kadri never wanted to leave. We know that. It was just, he was the whipping boy.
Yeah.
Basically
and then
what happened.
Babcock never wanted to experiment with his use of him in the lineup. He always just had him stapled on the third line. Never put him on like second line wing to just mix things up once in a while.
As good as Babcock was, he had his
Ego.
airs.
Ego.
Yes, they're there.
Ego.
The only other thing I want to say is that this is you Leaf fans must be ecstatic right now because you guys haven't had a 3-0 lead on anyone since 2001. And it was Ottawa.
What I tell you, 2001, Ottawa wins every regular season game against the Leafs. Leaf sweep. That was then. This is now.
Yeah.
Like you like to say, things are cyclical.
Maybe that's what it is. All I'm saying is this. Sweep tonight because rest in these playoffs, the way the level of playing and physicality, go sit down, boys. Go to the bar and watch a basketball game. You can take a day off, and that's going to be
Catch a Jays game.
Catch a Jays game, whatever it is you got to do. But they should go for the win tonight. I think
100%.
I hope they don't take the night off.
They won't,
and I don't think they will either. Just crush them. But that's what I'm scared about. These Cousins, Kachuk. And a couple other guys.
Kachuk's starting to find his way. I think that's more. Yeah, like, but that's something that's a little bit more on the radar.
But I think that people are not. This is what's underrated about that. He's out there a lot against the Matthews line.
Yep.
And guess what? They know what to do with the guy.
But he's going to get his chances still.
Oh, of course he is. He's got a goal or two already, doesn't he?
Yeah, two already. 2 goals and an assist, I believe.
So he's going to get it. But what I'm talking about is the insanity. Like when it gets there. Like what if the Leafs are going into the third period and the score is like 4-0?
4-0 Leafs or Habs?
4-0 Leafs going into the third period tonight. They're battening down the hatches?
Of course.
So what do? Play the third and fourth line as much as you can, right?
Just balance it out.
I know for the minutes, but at 4-0, it's going to be over, so everyone's going to get their rest. I'm more concerned about. I think
that is one of the ways it could go. I think it's either going to be Leafs jump out or it's going to be a super, super tight game.
Oh yeah, one of the two. There's going to be no in between here. I agree with you on that. But I'm just saying, I hope there's nobody looking for a pound of flesh. That's all I'm saying. I 100%. Hate that. I
don't want to. No, nobody injured, please.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Just play the game, see what happens. You didn't win, go home. And the other thing, I'm just going to call out all you Leaf fans that I've been hearing about. Paul Raitt, if you're on down there, I know you're keeping the score. You've only got 13 games to go. Stop it. Okay, stop that right now. 13 games to go. But you know what it is about
don't be a party pooper. Come
on.
No,
I'm hoping. I was on. He knows. Paul, if you're listening, you know that I'm hoping that the Leafs are going there. I asked my wife. I said it would be great when Montreal beats you guys in the conference finals. That's going to be just cool with me. But the other thing is that, oh my God, we got to play Florida next. Stop it.
Yeah, like
City of Toronto, stop it. Who cares you're playing? You got to be saying we're good. We just beat someone 4-0. Let's go out and kick some ass. Don't be worried about that. If I hear one more, we got Florida. We got to play Florida. Stop it. This is the NHL. This is the playoffs. You want to win a Stanley Cup? You got to beat everybody in front of you. Go do it. Don't be negative.
Yeah, everyone's going to talk about 2 years ago that series, but
it's just,
that series was closer. That if you actually look back at the scores,
it was way closer than it looked.
Yes.
Go back and check that. Look at this.
Everyone sees that we lost in 5 and kind of overreacted, but they were all 1-goal games.
All 1 games, 1 in overtime. Could have gone either way. No. You guys didn't get killed. It appears that way, but you go back on it. But here's one of the things that I'm going to bring up too. That's very interesting.
It's nice to have a working power play in the playoffs.
Yes, it does. But look at this, though.
Thank you, Mark Savard.
Yes. So Toronto is better watch out for this because they can't let this happen every time. They've been outshot 33-24. They've been shot 44-25, and they've been shot 44-37. Word around the campfire is you can't get outshot every game. You got to start to get to even.
The Leafs have been playing like this in the regular season, too.
Left wing lock, baby. It's working, isn't it?
You got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Okay, just want to make sure we're on the same page here.
That wasn't lost on me.
Okay, good. That's all I'm just saying. But the defensive work by the Leafs is unbelievable. I hope they wipe it out tonight. And by the way, it was good because when you look at these games too, the penalty minutes have been down. After the first game, when Ottawa come out and just were swinging and completely going nuts and trying to take everybody off the game, they took off all the penalties. I think that affected Ottawa in this way. They didn't know how to play the next game because they still wanted to get mental. But they didn't want to take the penalties. That's why you started getting that sneaky, dirty shit by guys as they were going, why to keep it in, like they were watching a Florida game or some shit, like that. But you guys should be fine. Go out and win tonight.
I'm going to say, like, your kind of point there about the penalties kind of leads into my next point. Stutzel's a little bitch.
Yeah, no doubt. No
my
doubt.
God, that time
No
last game.
doubt.
And they showed the flashback to Lalonde complaining about it when he was coach for the Red Wings early on in the season.
There you go.
That was hilarious.
There you go. But the funny thing is that that's the kind of guys that I'm saying that get pissed in the third period. I hope they don't do nothing stupid. You know, that's what I'm thinking anyway. But we're going to have to wait and see.
Did you see Matthews break Ridley Gregg's stick in game one?
Yep.
They didn't show that at the game. I kind of saw this after, but Gregg he came towards the Leaf bench. Matthew just grabs the stick out of his hand and snaps it.
I loved it.
That was badass.
And you know what else? Let's give Matthew some credit here. He's not getting he's using his body more than I've ever seen him use his body. In the middle of the ice, you can't stop him. Like of all the centers, even maybe except for McDavid and McKinnon. And they're the superstars, but I mean,
so is Matthews though.
So that's why I brought his name up and put him in that category. That guy up the middle I'm watching so much hockey. I don't see many guys both ends of the ice playing effectively as he does, going in the corners and taking the puck, getting the puck. He's a superstar.
Yeah, let's
go do some dirty work. You know what I mean? That's huge on your team with the fourth line balancing their minutes so he's not out there. Another thing we were talking about the power play, and I agree with this totally. You have an advantage when you can start your power play, your penalty kill, and you got Marner and Matthews as your top penalty killer.
Yep.
That is freaking huge. Just like Barkov there, Garbasov in
in Boston for the longest time it was Bergeron and Marchand first over the boards.
First over the boards. And if that's an advantage. Now, people say, what about the other guys get a little cold on your bench? Well, they're third or fourth liners anyway. These are the guys you want in there. Exactly. I go, nah. If my top guys could kill penalties, I want them out there. And not only that, if there is a transition play, now the other team's got to play defense while they're on the penalty kill. They're on the power play. So plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One last thing I want to talk about before we get off this. Loser fans that wear Leaf Suck jerseys. I wonder how they felt walking out of the building after game 3, your 67 Leaf Suck jersey. I'm sorry. That's the biggest loser move. You hate the other team more than you like your own team. You're a fucking loser.
Wow. That's gone around the city like wildfire. Like, how many times did they flash on that jersey, dude, just to say you
I don't even know how to react in public if I saw someone wearing that. I think I'd just laugh at them like, buddy, like, come on, you're a joke.
Do you see how old those guys were, too?
No.
They were like middle-aged guys. They were like university guys or high school guys. These guys are old school fans. Like, didn't you have something better to do with your money, like buy a case of beer? Like, come on.
Don't you have a favorite player on the team?
I thought it was funny when I seen it, but I think it was O-Dog that put it in perspectives, and he said, those guys spent money on those things. And I went,
over 200.
When I put it like that, I went, no, that's real dumb. I just seen it. I got no horse in the race.
Yeah.
I seen it and I thought it was funny. And
come on, when you see like Habs fans with the Leaf Suck jersey, don't you think like, come on,
I'd slap them. I'd slap them. Stop it. We don't need to do that. But it was funny. But the period on the sentence is someone actually spent money on that. Their hard-earned dollars.
I know.
I hope they worked at a jersey place. They got it for cheap. Like, come on. So ridiculous. But that's playoff hockey for you.
I guess.
What are you calling tonight? Like, what's your gut feeling on the game tonight?
Leafs are winning. I said Leafs in 4.
Yes,
I got nothing to take away my confidence.
I thought it would be there. It's going just the way they want. But the city, calm down. You're going to be in the second round of the playoffs again. Second time in 3 years.
Yep.
First time in a long time. Enjoy every game. That's the name of the thing.
Absolutely. So Montreal versus Washington. Ovechkin getting the first overtime playoff winner.
Wow, was that ever a weird one when you heard it, eh?
That shocked me because I remember early in his career there was like whispers like, he hasn't scored an overtime goal yet. Hasn't scored an overtime goal yet. 2025 was his first one. You're like, what?
Yeah, no, that blew me away too. But then you got to realize how many playoff disappointments Washington had before they won the cup.
One overtime, like, come on.
But that's what I'm saying.
There's been other overtime heroes for Washington in that stretch.
Yeah, but they lost a lot of games in overtime that killed them in series. When you go back when they were the favorites, like they got burned like that. It's a drag, and it's good for Ovi being this way. However, what has happened here is that I thought they might have a little bit of a hangover with Ovi and scoring race and all that stuff. No. Washington come out. Now, I think Washington started a little bit too crazy because we seem to have a little bit more pep in the third period on all of these games.
Especially game one.
Especially game one. Yeah. We should have won that game. We had it there. I
agree.
We should have won.
I texted you. I thought you guys were going to win game one.
And we didn't pull it off. But, I mean, we had to win last night. We did. What I've noticed about this and what I think what makes this game fascinating, when you're talking about the pace of games, this game, the pace is amazing. The Dallas-Colorado game, the pace is completely different. And I would say Vegas and Minnesota, those are the three. Now, Minnesota and St. Louis started that way because they're more like a cat and mouse thing. I find those three series, like you see the Montreal-Washington series, nobody's playing the lock. No. Nobody's playing the lock. They're just going. You know what that's like? Like where you run in the ring and you don't need the whole ring to fight. You just run to this one spot and say, let's go, because they've been really going up and down the ice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad, proud Hab fan that I am, that we've weathered these storms and then we had to do what we had to do last night.
Well, the series is going exactly the way I thought it would go. Washington's going to take the first two at home. Montreal took game 3 at home. You guys are taking game 4 at home tomorrow night, guaranteed.
I certainly hope so. And not only that, I'm liking the fact that Slavkowski is turning into, like, this is his first playoff experience. Mm-hmm. He's going to be a playoff guy in the future.
Yep.
Throwing his bodies. He's got to be careful with his stick because he's going to take some because you know when he gets that, because he's so big, when something does weird to him, he kind of does like a knee-jerk reaction. He's got to be careful because that could get us in the penalty box at the wrong time. But he's I hate to say it, a couple times he did some stuff that I thought, that was game 32.
Yeah, he'd be in trouble.
He'd be in the box. But
I mean, Suzuki, Caulfield, they've had a little bit of playoff experience. They've had a taste of it before. They're good to be there.
They're stronger on the puck. Like in the last couple of years, I'm very. That's what makes me proud. They're not muscled off the puck like they were like before. Like remember, like last year, a couple of times, Caulfield
especially.
But he's in the front of the net, and he's obviously hit the gym because muscling him off the puck, like not like before. He's hanging in there and he's taking some shots.
Maybe he got some lower body workout advice from San Luis. That guy had tree trunk. Well, probably still does have tree trunk legs. Let's be real.
No, he looked down the bench at number 11.
Oh, Gallagher, fair enough.
Yeah, come on with me, kid. This is what you got to do because they're both about the same height.
Yeah,
but he's learned that like that. His center of balance is a little bit stronger, and Suzuki.
I think Caulfield's got a little bit of a better build for having like the stronger lower body. I would say though.
Yeah,
Gallagher's built a little bit like whatever.
He's built more like the whole tree trunk.
Yeah.
The whole thing going down. But that's the value, and I've said it all year. When you have that kind of a line, that Dvorak, Anderson, Gallagher line, leave it alone. Okay, leave it alone. I meant to bring this up over there. Do you think that they should have made we didn't talk about Passaretti coming into the lineup, which we should have.
Oh, I would have put him in.
Yeah, you had to do him, but I don't think he made much of a difference.
I thought he was good.
You noticed him.
Yeah.
But I noticed Robertson too, but that's enough of that.
Robertson had to learn his lesson from that stupid penalty at the end of game 2. Yep. And plus, when he's back in the lineup, he's going to score. So,
God bless the Toronto Maple Leafs. But anyways, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to stand up for who you are when you're on the ice. And Montreal has done that. But I really think that this Washington team is fun to play.
Heavy forecheck.
Oh, they come at you all the time. Now,
yeah, intensity is at 100 all the time with that team.
As soon as you're coming out, and you know what I said there, and I told you this. We had to stand up to Wilson, and we did.
Yeah.
This guy was like picking at us. And you know what I don't...
Do you understand why he's one of the more hated players in the league now?
I would have him on my team. I know why he's hated.
Sure.
But he's not...
All these guys that are hated in the league, you would say that about, though.
But he's not Marchand. He's not complete vermin. No. He's another... He's
more on the goon side.
Sandpaper side. More sandpapery. You know what I mean? I know what you're saying. But what it has proven is that our team was very resilient. Like, we are a resilient, considering how young we are.
Well, the way you guys got in the playoffs.
There you go. So, like, we've been coming down the stretch like that. And the number one thing is in this series is we got to stay tough, but we have to stay out of the box because the Washington power play can kill us.
Of course.
They can kill us.
A lot of weapons on that power play.
Yeah. They move the puck around. They wait for the shot, and they do the one-timer from both sides. Mm-hmm. Not like
That's
us.
dangerous.
Yes, they do. Don't you notice that? They one-time it from both sides. Montembeault made some huge saves. I can't say enough about how well Montembeault's played.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People are already saying that his spot is basically locked for the Canadian team next year at the Olympics, too.
Just the way he's playing, he's been solid as a rock. Now, I got to say that Collier pickup for us from Nashville to get the defenseman, what's his name? Collier, is that how I say his name? Say it right? Carrier. I say Collier. Great pickup
playing
for
top
us.
pair with Matheson now, isn't he?
Yeah. And you know what it is? And he stays home a bit, so Matheson doesn't get to deliver so many pizzas because Carrier's got the puck on his stick instead.
Yeah.
So that's made a huge difference. They've stood up. I'm so happy about
Gooley
that.
Hudson's been a tremendous second pair for you guys as well.
What's that?
Gooley and Hudson.
Those two. And I thought I was a little nervous about that pairing at
That's
first.
going to be your top pair next year, I think.
Oh, no doubt. But I was a little worried about it because I'm thinking a little bit too much offensive going. But
Gooley's got some sandpaper to him,
Oh,
though.
yeah. That's what's made it good. And he's hitting everything he can see. Yeah. And you know what? He's sticking up for Hudson because guys like Washington were taking shots out with Hudson, too. This playoff hockey. Big boy hockey.
He's got to bulk up in the offseason, that's for sure.
But he ducks. He's pretty good. He takes a little hit here, and he ducks here, and he ducks there, which you got to give him credit for. He's a great skater. Yeah, that's what keeps him out of the way. But we still have to worry about this. Like when you get down to Washington's last 6 and our last 6, we got to win on grit
forwards,
there.
you mean?
Yeah, forwards wise. Yeah, we got to.
That was a big problem with Montreal. I've been bringing up all season. Forward depth is definitely an issue with this team.
Oh God, especially when we get to the fourth line. And another thing is, I am so glad that St. Louis had the balls to freaking bench Laine in the third period, and he didn't play last night.
Well,
Come on.
Laine and Armia both got benched in the third period of game 2.
Well, Armia made that horrible play, but he'll be back. We got to keep him in the lineup.
Well, he was in the lineup last night, and he was, I believe, a plus.
Yeah, he was.
Laine, though, they're saying out with injury. I'm not completely buying that.
You know what his injury is? His brain's not working.
I knew you were
going to put him on the fucking bench, this guy. This guy was unbelievable. He's big as a horse. He's like, remember I told you when you play table hockey, but when you pull your thing, you get stuck. He can't get back. He's on the ice. The turnovers that guy is giving up on. Now, I will say this. When Washington scored on overtime and they got that face-off in their own zone, okay, I'll give Lanny a break. That shouldn't have been icing. We know that.
But there's too many just like controller disconnected moments with him.
Oh, come on. Way too many. And then he gets in there and he turns the puck over in the offensive zone. First, he turns the puck over there, like someone pushes him or something. He turns around and look, and he's not even moving.
Yeah.
And a whole play is going, and he's standing like a pylon. It's brutal.
We were talking about this at home at dinner the other night. Him and Pettersson are the biggest enigmas in the league.
Oh, no doubt about it. You mean the Vancouver guy?
Yeah.
Like when he lets
Elias Pettersson, the forward. Yeah.
When Lanny can shoot the puck with anybody in the league.
Arguably, if not the best shot, top 5?
Oh, no doubt about it. But what do? We waste a whole fucking power play trying to feed it to him, and it doesn't get it to him, and all of a sudden 30 seconds off the power play, and what are we doing? No. Do like you guys. You guys get it around. If Nylander isn't open,
just keep moving it around.
Oh, Matthews isn't open, then we're just going to Riley lets it. Oh, not Riley. Tavares does that little shot. You know, he comes in the slot.
He's in the slot,
in the slot, lets it go, and let's see what happens. Bounce it around. Marner's doing that a lot more, eh? They pass. Okay, let's put it on the net and see what happens. And you got Nyes crashing the net, so it's working out well for you. That's how you got to do it, in my opinion. And Montreal's got to start doing that. But we got to be careful.
You don't have the personnel yet. That's the thing. I think that will be, not to get ahead of ourselves here, I think they will address that in the offseason. They have to.
Well, the first thing I think we should be going for is we got to find another center. Like a center, a guy that we go, that guy.
The problem is the only guys available are ones with warts, so to speak. The Trevor Zegras, Elias Petterssons of the world, right?
Yeah, and we already took up a head case in Lanny, and I think right now it looked good in the beginning, and it looked so good here. But you know what we got to do? This Demidov, this guy's skilled. He's lost right now. Like, they're putting him here, they're putting him here.
He was throwing, it's baptism by fire.
Exactly, but, and you know what, he's not backing off from the physical stuff, no. Thank God. I'm liking that. He's a good-sized boy. He's not no little guy.
No small boy.
And he's in there, but sometimes he's playing with, like, bricklayers, and you can't put him on the first line. Yeah. Because that line has to stay there.
Keep him together.
Keep that line is there, and you can't, and the Dvorak line is there, so who does he play with?
Yeah, he's stuck with, like, Newhook and, like...
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he does all these moves. He gets around, he goes and looks in front of the net, we can't find nobody. Like, he's a presence out there, but it looks to me we don't know what we're doing, and then they put him on a line with Laine. You know what I think it was? They thought the kid could set him up. But you can't set up somebody...
Demidov's more of a scorer himself, isn't he?
Yeah, but he passes great.
Fair.
He moves the puck around well. But you know what? I don't care how good you pass. If you're passing it to a pylon... What do you get? And the guy's feet got to be moving.
Yeah.
When you pass a puck, land his feet. Look at him go. You've seen him. Looks like he's not even skating out there. Get. And you know the other big thing that we had this thing about, and I was on the fence about it, is, did we need to bring back Arbor?
Jack-Eye?
Yeah. Did we need to bring him back?
I would have put him in game 3.
Okay, we needed a day, and it worked out,
Yeah.
so he'll be in the lineup again tomorrow night. But you have to be careful about that because of his reputation. He's going to get reputation penalties, and my issue is we got to stay out of the box against Washington.
But we talk. It's kind of like a little bit of a situation like Benoit, where he's a guy with a bit of a screw loose. You need that in the playoffs, and you're going to hope that the positives outweigh the negatives, which with Jack-Eye, I think they do.
Well, I'm looking at it this way. Everybody on the team plays 20 pounds bigger. That's the saying, and it is in there. And then this way, Anderson doesn't have to do all the dirty work, and Gallagher and Dvorak, because those guys do all the dirty work.
You need someone that could do it on the back end too, right?
You got it right. And Savard's not afraid to get it, but he's past his best before date.
Yeah, the skating isn't there. I know we've had debate about this on the show, but the skates go before the hands. So actually, I was watching a thing. Swordsman talk about that too. Actually,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Christopher Lee, believe it or not, was talking about that. How for Star Wars, he not to get too off topic, but like they couldn't use him for a lot of the wide shots in the duels because he's like I still had the hands, but the feet weren't there.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I know, and I feel my legs going. I'm trying to get them in shape because I'm playing baseball in 2 weeks, and I'm wondering if how the old legs are going. I'm going up on Monday just to Brady hit me fly ball so I can run around and get in baseball shape. But the bottom line is, if we learn how to use the Russian kid tonight, and we hold it on the back end, we have no idea, or tomorrow night, we have no idea who's playing goal for either team yet, which is going to be huge. But I'm like you guys are, like we don't have. Let's not put our goalie tandem exactly into the Leafs goalie tandem, but I'm not going to be. If we put Dobes in there, I'm not worried about.
He saved your season,
100%. And did you hear him after the game?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it was like a kid. Because I was nervous. I was shitting my pants. I was excited. I was everything, and it's over. And he's sitting on the bench chewing on seeds. Hey, kid, going in. What? Huh? You know, in a 2-0 game at home in the Bell Center.
No
on
pressure,
a Friday
right?
Night. Oh.
He's a good one, though.
Oh, he is. He made a couple big saves at the right time when we needed him and coming in cold. But then Lindgren made a couple of good saves for him.
Oh, he's no pushover.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he's someone back there, and he made a couple big saves at the time, too.
Well, a lot of people were saying if Washington is going to make a deep playoff run, Lindgren was going to see a bunch of time.
I've been hearing that, too, because they say he deserves a shot at it. But then they said the same thing about Wall. Are you putting in Wall yet? No.
If the Leafs do make a long playoff run, though, I think Wall will see some time.
Well, if he's going to play, he should play tonight.
No,
because that's momentum killing.
Yeah, exactly.
But so when do you play him?
Like, why force the issue?
No, I would not. I'd play Stolarz.
If Stolarz has like a little bit of a fallback, but that's what you wait for. Or God forbid something happens, but
well, wait.
You're not going to do it just because, is my point.
No. If you did that, then you're just being silly. Okay.
Anything else for the Habs?
No. We're good. Just another thing I was just going to say. Shots on goal in that series. Everybody seems to be around. This is the series with the highest shots on goal at points in time. Like the Caps got 42, they got 37, we got 33, we got 28. I've been noticing in the other teams, look at 24-16 in the Carolina, New Jersey thing, Florida and Tampa, what are they at? 20. If you get 25 shots on goal in these playoffs, you got a bag load. This is freaking me out. Like you got 25 shots, and all of a sudden I look up and I see well, Edmonton came around. As supposed to, we'll get to that in a minute. But if you look around and you check out, because that's what I was doing, just going through every series and just looking for nuances. Shots on goal are like, what shots on goal? So I guess
depends.
We should move it to.
Yeah, we've almost been talking an hour just about Leafs and Habs. So
that's a good thing.
Let's do a little bit of a cleanup across the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I guess let's keep it in the Leafs division. Tampa Bay versus Florida. Oh. I'm really disappointed with the way Tampa's come out. Getting shellacked 6-2 at home game 1. You lose 2-0 at home game 2.
Okay, the 2-0 game was tight. That could have gone either way. That was a great hockey game.
You got to find a way to score at home.
Definitely. But what is happening is, it's one of those games where Tampa Bay didn't hit back in the first game. They tried to hit back in the second game. But like I said, when you got those three goons, Bennett, Marchand, and Kachuk going by your bench and frickin' calling you little bitches.
No, Tampa Bay's looking a little fraudulent.
That's what I'm saying, and they're getting knocked around. The only one that they take a look at when they're out there is when Hedman's on the ice. Then when Hedman's on the ice, they go, okay, the sheriff's in town.
Yeah, because McDonough doesn't scare people like he used to anymore because he's getting... I mean, he's arguably still one of the better defensive defensemen in the league.
He is, but...
We can't keep up with the play like he used to.
No, not anymore, and he's not...
He's a third-pair guy, essentially, at this point.
Yeah, but he's out there solid with them. Like, because I think he's still on a plus after, but not at the first game because they were all
but you
minus.
can't play him like 25 minutes anymore.
No, he's an 18-minute guy at best, and he's doing okay. But what I'm just noticing is that's what I'm saying about when I was worried about the Habs. Here come Washington. They come flying at us. We came, like you guys in Ottawa last night. I mean, a couple nights ago, when the first period there, when Ottawa just, you got to weather the storm. Tampa Bay doesn't seem to know how to weather the storm, and they're an experienced team.
Which is strange.
It's very strange, and they're not a weak team. Like, if you look at their top 6, top 7 guys out there, like Gensel and Braden Point, and
they're all guys that have been there, done that.
Yes, Kucherov. I can keep going around and doing it, and the defense isn't bad. Their defense is pretty solid. I don't know what's going on.
They beefed up their defense a lot this season.
Sure, and they're all big boys, and they're ready to go. Like, to me, I'm saying the series is over because I don't think that Florida's going to lose 2 games at home. So they're going to go back home and maybe win that, and Florida finishes it in 6. That's how I'm kind of looking at it.
Well, I mean, the best way I think for Tampa now is getting the 2 games in Sunrise is going to be tough. You got to hope for a split and then go back Game 5, win that at home if you're Florida or if Tampa Bay, and then just hope to God that you can steal Game 6.
That's what I'm saying. But it's starting to smell like over in 6 to me, and I thought that was going to be a 7-game series.
I thought so too.
But I'm saying this: we thought they were going to beat the hell out of each other.
One team's beating the hell out of each other.
Guy. One team's beating the other team down. Like, and you know what? If they're going to get their rest too, like if Florida wins this in 4 or 5 games, and the Leafs win theirs in 4 or 5 games, they'll both be sitting waiting there resting for each other. So that should make it interesting. But Tampa Bay is extremely disappointing, especially the first game.
Yeah,
it was 3-0 after 10 minutes or 12 minutes. Like, what? You guys are 2-time Stanley Cup champions. Oh, look at the. If you look at their team,
3 finals in a row, not too long ago.
Playoff experience in the lineup. Ridiculous.
Yep.
How many games? Thousands, whatever the case may be. And what do? They come out flat. Even Kucherov looked a little flat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got his wheels going in game 2, and he got robbed. Let's be honest here.
Well, you've only scored 2 goals over 2 games.
There you go. But what's his name? The Bobrovsky. He's being Bobrovsky. Yeah. He's made the right save at the right time.
Yeah,
is what you want from a goalie. But as far as that concerns going, that though, especially those front 6, and Ekbland's coming back tonight.
That's true.
There you go. So
he's a little cold though, so that they could maybe take advantage of that Tampa.
Is he going to be as cold as Kachuk was coming off the bench? Just wondering what kind of cold we talking about here. Is going to be as cold as...
Well, Ekblad's not Kachuk.
Okay, is he going to be as cold?
Ekblad's not going to be nominated for Norris anytime soon.
Is he going to be as cold as Sagan is in Dallas? Is he going to be as cold as...
Well, Sagan got the warm-up game at the end of the regular season.
Who was Vegas that came off that too? There was someone on
Shea
Vegas.
Theodore?
Yeah.
But he's been quiet.
But he's been looking good out there. It's not his fault they're losing.
No, agreed.
Minnesota, we'll get to them in a minute.
But it's crazy to think how I thought for sure we'd see. I thought by this time next week we'd be talking Florida Tampa Game 7 for sure.
I'm not so sure. Not getting there. I can't see that. But anyway, we'll keep our eye on it.
Yeah. Finishing up the Eastern Conference, Carolina, New Jersey. New Jersey stole one out in overtime last night. Only game to go to double OT so far these playoffs.
That series is so interesting in this way. It's like you're not a Freddie Anderson guy.
I like Freddie, but
Freddie's been okay, though.
He's been very good.
Yes,
I mean, it's New Jersey, but whatever.
Okay, but so who was supposed to have the goalie advantage? Markstrom was supposed to be the better, but is Markstrom really that much better?
But Markstrom, I was telling you before this series starts, I didn't trust him either. He didn't have that great of a season.
That's what I'm saying. He's let in a couple 9-irons.
Yeah. This one we're talking about, whatever you said the Leafs was low vent. This is a low vent series.
Oh, no kidding. You know, it's not even registering with anybody anywhere.
Well, we kind of knew this coming in, that it was a series that nobody was talking about.
I don't know. Was it on one of the shows? Was it either, I think it was, could have been Overdrive guy said it, and then, you know the worst guys on TV? These Blair and Barker guys. Let's go take their jobs. They're so bad.
You don't like them?
Oh, they're just so bad. Well, you know, they played okay last night. They should have been checking a little more. Did you
Blair and Barker, they're baseball, though.
Yeah, I know, but they were they brought something up about the playoffs because they said it's a city.
Yeah.
They were talking about, they gave it, they give respect. I mean, this is the thing. But when they talk, they're just so, they brought.
I actually listen to their show.
Do you?
Yeah. I think they're kind of fun. They have good guests, too.
Oh, they guess when they're on there.
Yeah.
I just have a little problem with their monotone. What's his name knows his shit. Blair guy
they
knows
both
that,
do.
They come out with numbers at times where I go, whoa.
That's why I listen to them, the information.
Yeah, but you know,
and they always have like John Paul Morosi. Oh, who's the other?
Oh, I like that when it comes out. I don't watch them enough because sometimes they just, I don't know, something rubs me the wrong way. But what blows me away when you say about the numbers, and I look there, you see them on TV, they don't have a lot of shit in front of them. Mm-hmm. So that stuff's coming right off the top of their head. That's what gets me. All of a sudden, you'll say a number, and I'll go, "Whoa, is there a teleprompter around? Is there something going on?"
Anyways, not to keep it on Blair and Barker, but
Anyways, what I'm getting at is so many places where they were saying the Carolina jerseys, like everyone's talking about Edmonton, everyone's talking about what's going on with Minnesota and Vegas. Oh, those guys. Next.
I think that was New Jersey's only win last night.
I think it is too. Carolina's going to be tough for everybody because they're not playing a left wing lock, but what are they playing?
They play, their style game, it's like the wingers go in with the heavy forecheck, try and set it up, strong defensively.
Oh, very. And it seems like, like they almost play like an arrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the guys go in this way, and then even the defensemen, they come up behind the center, so they block the passing lanes when they're coming out, so it's hard to come down. And Anderson makes the save when you need him.
It's Rod Brindamore hockey.
Oh, 100%. And another thing is, Carolina's defensive metrics is some of the best all season, so we shouldn't be surprised where they're at. And another thing that they have, all their defensemen are 6-footers.
Yep. The only thing, they don't have that top-end talent up front. That's the only thing.
They don't have the guy to score. And they're great front runners. If they get out in front of you, you're done.
If they got to play from behind, they're in trouble. I agree.
And huge. But you say only one game? You don't think Jersey can win one more?
I said Jersey in 5. Carolina in 5. I'm sticking to it.
I think I said 6.
You said 7.
Did I 7? Okay, because I expected more from Jersey.
Yeah.
I really did. But you know what? Another thing.
No, they came in limping into the playoffs. They're missing guys.
Yeah, they missed too many. And they stole the game last night.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Moving over to the Western Conference, Winnipeg versus St. Louis. Home ice advantage here has been absolutely massive, and that's been the headliner here so far. And St. Louis scoring 7 on Winnipeg, the first time they've allowed 7 all
MVP
year.
On the MVP?
I don't think that's all in Hellebuck. What about the team in front of him that kind of showed up late?
He missed 2 where he put up his glove and it went here. He missed 2 bad ones. He let in 2 bad ones last night. Like, got ones, and that could happen to any goalie.
Yeah.
That could happen to any goalie, but 7?
At a certain point.
Why didn't they yank him?
Why didn't they yank him? Yeah. Pride.
Pride.
That was the thing with Vasilevsky in Tampa, too. They never yanked him. The Leafs would put up like 6. The Leafs put up like 7 against him one time a couple years ago. They left him in just so he had that like consecutive minute streak or whatever.
Whatever stupid that is. But you know the thing about
or
this
how
year,
about if he's the guy that's like, just leave me in, then I mean you gotta respect that.
Oh, I know. They're not gonna take him out. No. He can say whatever he wants to do. He got him here. He's the MVP, remember? Yeah, right. In any event.
Well, it's a regular season award.
Okay, in any event, the thing that you got to think about in this series is now St. Louis is won 16 straight at home or some insane number. Now,
Gloria,
Gloria
vibes.
And you know what the thing about it though that I really look at is that to me, St. Louis has got the most. How would you say it? They're the most blue collar team that's left behind.
Like that's been their bread and butter since I was a kid.
But just the way they play. Like you gotta, they have a 4th line too, but any one of their lines just suddenly shows up and skates and bangs and hits, and their centers are pretty good.
I'm a big fan of Robert Thomas.
Oh yeah, no, he's showing it.
Braden Shen too. I've always been a fan of him.
Yeah, that's what it's there. And you know what it is? That series, there's some bad blood. Those guys don't like each other.
No, and Winnipeg seems to have a lot of bad blood with a lot of guys in their division.
But you know what I noticed about that though is that. Less dirty hits, more clean hits. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. I mean, things got a little chippy pregame between Scheifele and Hoffer.
Shut up, guys. Just go play hockey.
Well, Scheifele, we know he's a little bit
sneaky.
Well, let's just say there's a reason why he's not captain of that team.
I think he sharpens his stick before the game, but he doesn't let anybody know he's sharpening it. He's one of those guys, Sneaky dirty, man. Sneaky dirty. Like, you see him out of the corners, you see guys looking at him. I go, what did he do? You know what I mean? And he's such a great skater. Like, great skaters get away with doing dirty shit because they keep on moving. Their feet are moving. They leave it behind on them. But I was shocked that anyway, no matter what you're saying, St. Louis played hard in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
But to come home and as soon as they started scoring and the crowd got into it, was over for Winnipeg.
And St. Louis has always had a great home ice.
Oh, no kidding. But last night, did you hear it by the end of the first period? They were calling this a game. Yeah. It was crazy ass and it was loud.
Well, 3 goals in the first 10, 15 or something?
Like I said, they were still showing the line combinations on the screen and the light went on and I went, okay. But I thought, you know what, Winnipeg would bounce right back from that. I really did. I said, it's Winnipeg. Why are you worried about that? they'll come back. But Winnipeg, St. Louis, who have been playing the best hockey since everybody knows, since when? The Four Nations or whatever, even before that. They've been one of the, that run coming home has been insane.
They've been the number one team in the league basically all year. Front to back. It was like them
St.
and
Louis?
Washington. Or sorry, I thought you were saying Winnipeg.
No, they have been. I'm saying
Yeah.
St. Louis's run right now. In the
Oh,
last
post Four
20-something
Nations. Yeah.
They're unbelievable. Whatever switch they got, everyone got rested. I don't know. And then if you look at their
Taking
line,
advantage of Boston firing the coach.
oh, that made a distance because they're saying. But when you look at their Thomas, you got to like Robert Thomas.
How can you not?
Great.
Him and Kyrou.
Yeah. They're good centers. And you know what? I'm really starting. That's the guy. I never get his name right. How do you say it?
Kyrou's a winger, I believe.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the back on their defense. You know what guy I like? That Colton. How do you say it? Parako, whatever his name. I love that guy. He does it all. Hits, shoots, bangs. Don't worry, cleans out the front of the net.
He was the guy a few years ago. I was hoping the Leafs would be able to snag away from St. Louis, but it looks like now he's a fixture of that team.
Oh, no, not now. Because he was still in. I remember those rumors when they came up. Was that last year, the year before? Because it was at the trade deadline, remember?
Yeah, because St. Louis was kind of out of it, a little bit post. Yeah,
we're not sure we're going to do it. The guy made a good man. He's a big boy.
Yes, he is.
He's a big boy going there. But you look at their lineup. After you get by Fowler, Thomas, and him.
Fowler's had a great playoffs, too.
Oh, he's looking amazing. That's what I'm saying.
He's looked like a brand new man ever since getting traded away from Anaheim.
There you go. And he's skating like he's skating with a purpose.
He's always been a good skater. He's one of those. I've always thought that Cam Fowler was a very good defenseman.
I did too, but he's just been in these playoffs. Got good
Next
pickup.
level.
Good pickup from him. He's made a difference. But a lot of these guys, the rest of these guys, I really don't know them. When I look at their lineup, sometimes I go and get my hockey book and I look them up and say, who is this guy? Who's that? Where'd he come from? What are they doing?
Yeah.
Which is what, in my opinion, because I don't live in St. Louis, I don't follow them every day.
They're a Western Conference team.
But when you start seeing these guys playing and the way they play, and they've got a good forecheck too.
Yes, they do.
They got a very good forecheck, and they don't play no lock. They play wide open. They're mano-to-mano team. And Binghamton is something happened at the Four Nations to him, because now he's just like, he's played as good as any goalie in this series. He was going against Winnipeg. They lost the first two games. They didn't lose because of him.
No.
He was really good. Oh, and by the way, when we look at it again, one of the things that I keep liking to look at, even though I'm just being a dick about it, is how many shots on goal in these games?
Tell us.
Okay, here we go. Let me just get my little book here. Nobody gets 30 shots on goal. That's what blows my mind. They're all skating like madmen.
Wow.
Where's the shots on goal? 28-19. That was it.
Damn.
28-19 in a 7-2 game. Now,
7-3.
7-3 game. Now, let's be honest about it. If you go to the game before when they went, there were 2-1 in the 5-3 games. Let's look at how many shots on goal. They're all going to be under 30. It blows my mind. Oh, Winnipeg did get 33 that night because that was a little bit more open. That was the 2-1 game.
Okay.
Good, I understood that. So they almost both got 30 shots on goal. They're both over 25. But rarely do you see in these playoffs, and watch it at the games, when you go to see it, you'll rarely see, like I say, you get 25 shots on goal, that means you've been busy.
Yes.
You've been busy. So give me the shots on goal. Don't give me any. And see, look at the first game of the series, 26-17. That's all the shots on goal. But that leads into what you're always saying and what they coach. Possession is more important.
Yes.
Which I know takes away from the shots on goal. But when we get to the third period, start winging that fucking puck.
This playoff hasn't been short of goals.
No.
So it's working, I would say.
Yes and no. Some of the series have been pretty low, and then all of a sudden it gets deceptive. Like you look at the score, Montreal won 6-3. Couple empty netters.
Yeah.
Really, it was only a 4-3, 5-3 game.
Well, I guess the series that does kind of prove your theory is the Dallas-Colorado one. These have all been low-scoring games. But I would say no less eventful.
I'm going to say that I put that up there on the pace of the game.
These games have all been bangers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This is the one I've been trying to watch. I haven't caught like every minute, but I've gotten pretty damn close. And this has been a great series.
I've even get up in the morning and watch the rest of it. Like when they were in overtime, I was falling asleep because I was up for so long.
I tried to stay up for game 3 and I think it was game 2 in overtime. I woke up and then I'd seen Blackwell scored. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, but what I did too is I got up in the morning and watched it. I took Stanley for his walk and came home, didn't know the score, and watched the rest of the game. But you're right. That's why I'm saying all the games, I agree, have been great. But like I'm saying, if you look at the pace that the Leafs Ottawa play at, and you look at the pace that Dallas and Colorado play with, you see there's an aesthetic difference. Now, when we say those the winners of that and when that ended up in the finals.
Yeah.
That's going to make, because styles make fights, right?
Well, that, like Dallas, Colorado, because both those teams play basically the same way.
Oh, no kidding.
Up and down, fast paced.
Yes, and go, and they got the defensemen that all carry the puck and enter the play, and then they're not so scared that the goalie's going to be holding up. But some of the intensities in that game, especially when you're going that long, and like it's tied, and they're just flying. McKinnon, where does that guy get his engine from? Man.
I know. He is built different. I love him.
He's just, how can you not? And we've seen it for years, but now that he's won the Stanley Cup and now he's trying to go for another one, when he's on the ice, when do you not notice him?
I've never not noticed him on the ice. Going back to his rookie season.
Exactly. And the guy, and he's not even 30 yet, is he? Or he's just over 30? He's around 30. Yeah, he's 30, 31. Because he's been in the league.
He's 29.
Yeah, because he's been in the league about 10 years.
20, or maybe he is turning 30 this year. I don't know if his 30th birthday hit yet, though, because he was 2013 draft, Yeah,
so he was around there. But he, out on the ice, he's like I think
beast. He's a beast.
3 favorite skaters I see as centers in the league: McKinnon, McDavid, and Matthews. Those 3 guys when they're skating. There's who else?
Honorable mention to Draisaitl.
And Draisaitl's right up there too. Yeah. And you know who's still got a lot of gas in the tank? It's good old Kopitar.
Yeah.
You know, he's still got a lot of gas in the tank. Eh?
Well, I want to say more about that LA series, but Landeskog made his debut in Game 3. I thought that would fire up Colorado a little bit more.
But you know what it is that they've had their chances. Like everything about that series, everybody's doing the right thing.
Andre has been showing up for Dallas, though, which I thought was a little bit of a concern coming into the series, but he's been phenomenal. He's been prime Andre that I guess the Dallas fans were expecting and hoping to see.
Exactly. But
they got those Big D, which doesn't hurt.
Big D.
Yeah. Big D and Big D.
Big D and Big D. You know, they all could play for the fucking Cowboys. Those guys, they're big.
The Cowboys need help, so.
Yes, and they're big. But you know what? They're mobile, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Aberjackie is big, just to use an example, but he's not as mobile as those guys. You know what I'm saying? Just to use an example. Nothing against my boy Arbor, fine, but like get a little bit more like that kind of mobility.
Right.
Puck moving and all stuff like that. But I think this still could go 7.
This series is going deep either way.
And
I agree.
I'm calling Colorado to win because.
Oh, you're changing your mind.
I took Dallas to win?
You took Dallas in 7.
Okay, that probably would, but I got a sneaky feeling that Colorado's going to win. And you know what the scary thing is? Like you say, what was that number about how
so much? Dallas has only been up for 1 minute and 2 seconds over the first 3 games.
And they're winning 2-1.
That's a stat, though, that can go either way, because that could say, like, you're falling behind the play, but that also has, like, Team of Destiny vibes to it, right?
It's got a little bit of fairy tale and magic dust and everything when you think about it. But when you told me that number and I went and checked, I've heard a couple other people talking about it. Can you imagine that? If you said at the start of a series, you're going to be leading this much time and you're up 2-1, you wouldn't buy a lottery ticket. You're going, we're good. We're good, right?
Yeah, because the thing about Dallas, too, is that, like, they've been good, like, these last couple years, they've been really raising their heads. They're kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to say they're due, but, like, you're expecting them to do something big. Last year, we thought it was going to happen. They just couldn't quite get to the final against Edmonton, right?
No, but I'm going to look at it this way. To me, Dallas is that team that has old school, new school coming together. Because they got Wyatt Johnson. Too bad Jason. Look, and they're missing Jason Robertson and Heiskanen too. Yeah. Imagine if those 2 were in, we might even have a crazier thing. But
they got Rupi Hintz in the lineup. They have oh God, who's the other young guy? Stankoven.
Another good, and he was a good pickup in the trade because he was involved in the trade for Rantanen. I believe not the trade for Rantanen. Yeah, because he came from.
Or am I thinking of?
He came from Carolina. Yeah, that's the guy.
Or am I thinking of the guy they trade to Carolina? Oh, God, I'm getting my names. I'm pulling a U.
Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. 100% I know what you're talking about. I'm just going.
Wyatt Johnson, sorry. That's what I'm thinking of.
He's great. Yeah. I like that guy. And I like Hintz and all those guys. I just find that.
Thomas Harley has been.
Oh, Thomas Harley is another guy. He's got to be top 6 defenseman in the league, maybe. Maybe he's number 6.
It's creeping his way up there.
He definitely
is. Top 10.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll give you put him at number 10. Oh, Stanley making noise. What else is new? But their lineup, when you look at the Dallas lineup, I like to me, like you see the names and it's old school, new school, old school, new school. Because look, they can't win without, look at Tyler Seguin, Marchmont, who else is on there? I'm thinking of Duchesne, even though he hasn't scored as much.
Well, Marchmont isn't exactly an old guy.
No,
he's got the Leafs developed like a couple years ago.
Come to think of it, yeah, you're right. But I mean, look at their line. Jamie Benn,
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? They got the old school.
Cody Cece's been around there a few years.
Yeah. When you look around, but the balance of it is what that appeals to me. Like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And that must be good in the dressing room. Like, that makes for a good dressing room vibe. That's why I think next season the Habs got to keep Gallagher and Anderson. Who cares if they're
Oh, you have to at this point. Well, you guys have a lot of cap space too, so I don't think that's going to be as much of a concern.
No, but I'm saying, like, when you look how Dallas is built, they got all those young bucks coming along, but they got that center of guys that are just being whatever. Look at Stanley just
Stanley, if you weren't so cute, I'd be upset. Yes. Luckily, you're a cutie.
Okay, here. Look, Stanley, come here.
I think he wants to say something into the mic.
He always does. He's a Hab guy. Don't you see his collar?
Let's move it to Minnesota versus Vegas. So Vegas caught a lot of eyes coming into this one because they've been the least penalized team for the last 3 seasons. And they set a record in the 82-game season this year for least amount of penalties taken. So people are calling the refs, the Vegas refs or whatever now. But
they're down 2-1, though. Does that surprise you?
I mean, Minnesota's shocking the world, like you said in our meeting the other day.
Okay, well, here's the crazy thing. If you go back and check our power rankings back in January, February, I had them up there sometimes in my top 5.
Well, the thing that we really didn't consider is just how derailed their season was by injuries. Kaprizov was looking like an MVP early on in the season. That's what a lot of us forgot about.
Exactly.
Eriksson Ek, who's like their best two-way center, missed a lot of the season.
Exactly.
Some defensemen. So, like, now they're finally getting healthy. They're finally finding their form once again. And perhaps we were sleeping on them.
Well, I
said Vegas in 5. You said Vegas in 4.
Because you know what I thought? I thought that they had, like, it's the end of the season. They just fell off the rails. They just ran into a wall and said, okay, we'll rebuild for next year. Because they played some great hockey early in the year. Like I said, I had them in my power rankings. I really liked them. I was kissing their ass for a long time. And then all of a sudden, oh, shit, what happened to these guys? But they've shown. And you know another thing? Big back end.
Yes.
Big back end, but Vegas seems to be looking a little lazy to me, don't you think?
I don't get it.
Me either. Like, they're not hitting as much as they do. Garbasov's out there every play. I notice him.
Barbashev?
I notice him every play. I think.
Well, he was a huge part of them winning the cup a couple years ago.
There you go. But he's been playing well. But I've noticed that they're checking Eichel into the ground.
Yeah.
You know, and he's got to hit more. He's a big guy. Like, I'm not noticing.
I'm a little surprised that he hasn't shown as much sandpaper as he's a big boy.
That's my take on it. I'm going, why we're not seeing more of him? And you got to say this. Vegas is built from the back end. So where are those guys?
Although I will say Minnesota has been getting a lot of big saves from Gustafsson.
Oh, yes.
This could easily be like a 2-1 series the other way if it wasn't for him.
No doubt about it. No doubt. And look at this. The score is indicated because there's a lot of, what would you say, empty net goals and shit going on here. But I'm really surprised that Minnesota, another team that you could say there's a modicum of, more than a modicum of resilience here. Because like I said, I'm coming down the last 10 games of the season. I went, oh, Minnesota, I thought you were going to have such a great season. Oh,
and they almost missed the playoffs.
And almost missed. That's why I called it. I said, they're out of gas. What's going to happen here? Oh, gee, guess what? They found that second gear, second wind, whatever you want to call it. They play great hockey, though. But they were playing great hockey early in the year. They were one of the teams I liked watching to play, right?
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, I don't know, but what do you think of this series? Where are we going with this? What do you think?
I don't think Vegas is dead in the water yet.
Oh, I don't either, but
they got to come out big game 4.
Oh, is that tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night, Cass, because I was watching the game last night. What am I thinking? And look at this. Here's another thing you got to realize about Gustafsson, and you making a good point here. Vegas did.
No, they do play today, 4 p.m.
Yeah, remember this. Vegas did get 42 shots on goal. Like, they were peppering them pretty damn good.
Some good chances, too.
And some good chances. And another team that I think that Minnesota's been pretty good at is low penalties here, too. Yeah. Because you cannot take a bag load of penalties against freaking Vegas, or you're asking for it. Their power play is pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. But it hasn't been able to go. And like I say, the biggest thing that I've noticed about them is the Eichel situation. Why am I not seeing more of Eichel? What is he doing? He's made some chances, though.
Yep.
And tonight he could score 2 goals and get an assist, and then I'll have to just shut up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how these guys go. Because I think he's a great player, and he's big. You know what he reminds me of? And I don't mean it that way, but he's like, I don't know how to explain it, but maybe he's like a Matthews light in some ways. He just can't go in the corner and take the puck.
He was supposed to be on the same level as Matthews.
But he's not.
No.
He's just below, though. That's why I say Matthews light. But in these playoffs so far, I'm going, hey, buddy, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like,
it's odd.
No points, -5.
That's awful.
That's what I'm saying.
Change.
They're checking him into the ground. That's what I noticed. I go, where's Eichel? And his wingers are left lost. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You know who I'm really glad who looks lost out there because we can't find him and he's been playing a lot with Eichel is Mark Stone. Good, fuck you.
Yeah, he's been very quiet as well.
Same thing. He's on the line. -5, no points.
Yeah, well, they're line mates, yeah.
Yeah. So -5 and no points. And you know what it is? They put that line on it. A lot of times when they go out there, you notice it's the Duchesne line, the veteran line against that line, which I think is sneaky.
Duchesne, you mean?
Yeah, Duchesne. Like a lot of time he goes out against.
Oh, he goes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Am I got that right? That's the no.
Well, no, Duchesne's Dallas.
Dallas. No.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? I'll get it right now.
I would think they would. Isn't it Eriksson Ek that's getting those assignments?
Bingo!
Yeah.
Bingo! Now, and there's another guy too. Wait a second here. Where's my personal assistant? Enough of this shit. You know what I mean? There's the other guy that we know. Wait, where did you go? Where'd you go? And he's a big guy too. That I think has been playing well and holding his own. It's good that they got a guy that's been hitting everybody. He's that Matt Boldy guy.
Oh,
that's what this guy's been out there, and he's been
not just hitting, scoring every opportunity.
But I'm
too.
saying they've been putting him. He seems to be out there against Stone a little bit on the same line, and that so that he's not only that. That's why they're minus and they're plus.
Well, MVP candidates for Minnesota: 1A Kaprizov, 1B Boldy.
Oh yeah, he's been. That's the guy I'm thinking of. And you know who else has been playing?
He won Game 2 basically himself.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And where did this Foligno guy come from?
Marcus Foligno?
Yeah, where did he come from?
He feels like he's been playing with Minnesota for like the last 10 years.
But I never really noticed him.
He's captain, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, I see a lot of minutes. Yeah, okay, whatever. Then all of a sudden, these playoffs, I'm noticing him.
He's had a bit of a reputation for some big goals in his career, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm noticing him more in these playoffs.
Yeah,
like I'm going, why are you noticing? And I guess because you raise your level of play because the playoffs are here. But I don't think
one of those guys.
Series, yeah, that's what I noticed. But it's
I guess his papa scored a big goal for the Leafs back in the day.
Of course, yeah, way back in the day. But that's the guy I got to keep remembering. It's Boldy. Every time I see him on the ice, I go, look at that guy. Look at that guy.
Yep.
And you know what? He makes sure that nobody hits the centers because, like, that Hartman guy isn't the biggest center. Their centers aren't that. They're very good skaters. But it seems
they're another team like Minnesota. Their big weaknesses are their center depth.
Yeah, but their wingers stick up for them. You know what I mean? Which makes a huge difference. So they get the rebounds and shit.
Yeah,
because those guys are doing all the dirty work. But what do you think this series going to go 6-7? It's got to. Vegas goes out quick. I'm going to be shocked.
Yeah, I mean Vegas. I still think is going to win the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tonight's huge.
I'm expecting more from Vegas.
I expected more already.
I mean, we've seen this from I'm not going to say Vegas is going to win the Cup this year, but from these teams that do win the Cup, usually they have this moment where they're down 2-1 in a series, all hope looks lost, but then they remember who they were, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that.
Chicago, they had a bunch of those moments on their runs. 2013, I think they were down either 2-0 or 2-1 to Detroit in the second round. Taves took a penalty, a bad one at the end of the game, and Seabrook went into the box and kind of hyped him up a little bit, and that was a turning point of that game.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, Chicago just didn't look back, and then they ended up winning their second cup.
Well, this could go on here. I'm not saying Vegas that they can't, but I just think one of the things that I got to me that I thought about it, and somebody said I was reaching when I was talking to the neighbors, or all of the old men standing on the corner talking hockey for 20 minutes. I said, and he goes, you can't look at it that way. And I said, but I'm going to, is that it just appeared to me after game 1, Vegas saying, we got this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they just come out and they seem to control that game 1. You know what I mean? Like when I was watching it by the end of the second period, I go, yeah, Vegas is pretty good.
Yeah, they rest on their laurels a little bit these last couple games.
And the bottom line, though, is it's not, but Minnesota wouldn't stop skating.
No.
No matter what you're going to say, they didn't stop skating. But the first game, Vegas, I thought won pretty handily. They controlled the situation. They seemed to know what they were doing. Okay, here we go. We're good. And then, what happened here?
Yep.
The next two, because look at, and there was an empty net goal in both games, though, wasn't there? I do believe.
Believe so. But we should take it to the last series, though.
Yep.
Edmonton versus Los Angeles. So Edmonton, this has been a crazy series as well. A lot of back and forth. And like I said, LA looks like the better team, but Edmonton's got those two X factors, McDavid and Draisaitl.
Oh, no doubt about it. And should they have won game 1?
Edmonton?
Yeah. I'm saying no. They got. Remember?
Was that the comeback game?
The comeback game, yeah.
Well, they didn't finish.
Or whatever game it was.
I think it was game 2, wasn't it?
The comeback game. Do you think they should have won that game? I'm saying no. I'm saying
Oh, no, sorry. Game 1 was the comeback
Yeah,
one. Game 2 was the one where they got smoked.
Yeah, they got their ass kicked. But I said, you know what?
Oh, you're playing with fire.
Yes, and what happened is they ran out of gas and lost. You know, and especially to give that goal up. What was the last 15 seconds left in the game?
That was a tough one for Skinner, though. It was a deflected shot.
And
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there, but he has been terrible. I'm given that. Given that, though, I'm still a little bit surprised that they turned to Calvin Pickard for Game 3 because, I mean, he's no better. Let's be real.
Well, and you know what? Skinner will come back. They've done this before.
You would think so.
He's going to come back. But look at Edmonton had the big game last night. They had the crowd. They came out. Like, you know, the Edmonton,
2 goals in 10 seconds to take the lead.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching that live. Like, my mouth was agape.
But did you see the crowd then?
Yes.
The energy from the crowd. If you don't get energy from something like that, the place went completely ballistic.
So the 2 guys in the Dumb and Dumber, the Harry and Lloyd suits, that was funny.
Yes, I know, but that was an electric crowd last night. Once they got ahead and then they went on. But you know what? Edmonton's going to need that there because I'm still saying I picked LA to win this series.
By the way, not to get too off topic, but shout out to the Leaf crowds at home, those first 2 playoff games.
Yes.
The lower bowl looked like it should
those
first 2 games.
Yes. And the volume level is...
Yeah, the TV did not do it justice.
No, but that's what I've been hearing. And you know what? Over the years, what has that been Leaf fans' problem?
Yes. Home ice.
Yeah. And
especially that lower bowl.
Oh, yeah. But they, you could hear it in the crowd. You could see it. You know what? One of the things, going back to Leafs for a second, is that, did you see Ty Domi when they flashed on him after he was a game?
That was awesome.
Was it not? Like, I felt as a father. Like,
Yeah.
did you see the look on his face? That smile could have lit up a city at night. Like, that's my boy.
I'm glad you brought that up because now Ty Domi, Max Domi, the first father-son to score playoff winning goals against the same team.
Yep. In the history of hockey. I remember that Domi overtime goal, Battle of Ontario.
Well, it wasn't overtime. It was, I believe it was a first period goal, but it went off one of the Ottawa defensemen. But he's taking a goal's a goal.
Oh, no kidding. But didn't he score one in overtime, Domi?
Not against Ottawa.
Because they're both now the father.
Come on, let's be real. How much ice time would he have really gotten in overtime?
But he got one of those weird goals.
Well, it was in regulation. I believe it was first period.
I'm gonna say,
but it was a shutout game, so it went down as the winner.
Has Ty Domi ever scored an overtime goal
in the playoffs?
Yeah.
I don't know, but let's take it back to Edmonton and LA.
I still say LA is winning, bro.
I'm sticking by Oilers in 7. I'm thinking home ice is going to reign supreme for the first 6, but then Edmonton steals Game 7 on the road.
Wow, you're going old school on that, eh? I don't think that Edmonton's defense is going to hold up. Who's playing back there, me and you?
It doesn't matter. They got
terrible.
McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah.
And they're LA's kryptonite.
I agree, but I think that Doughty and the experience and Kopitar, like I said, that guy doesn't run out of gas.
Oh, do you see Doughty get knocked around by Hyman last night?
Oh, yeah,
though?
I did, but he should have been looking. It was a rookie move. You got to take a look at. But he did because he looked and then Hyman just came in and said,
next second, empty netter.
Yeah, there you go. You know what I mean? But listen, Doughty's been holding his own.
Agreed.
This is one of those plays, and
but I mean, the Oilers are tough.
Oh,
they're no pushover.
I'm
McDavid, Draisaitl, they got not a tremendous surrounding cast, but I mean, they got some guys.
I'm going to say...
My brother jokes around like he thinks it's a little bit weird that Perry's still top power play there, but...
I understand why.
Oh, you have to.
I understand why. I got here. Ty Domi scored an overtime goal. Let's see what happens.
Well, you got to put playoffs in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we using StatMuse?
I don't know what I'm using. I'm just... This is me, man. You know? What do you
Cruise versus technology will continue after the break.
What do you call people that don't know that? What do you call them that are computer illiterate?
Cavemen?
No. Well, next best thing. Ty Domi scored the overtime winner of Game 5 of the first round of a series against the Ottawa Senators in the year 2000. I remember him scoring a goal in overtime.
That's not the one they showed. That's weird, though.
25 years to the day before son Max scored his.
Wow.
Very cool accomplishments that both father and son get to enjoy together for a long time.
According to StatMuse says, this one's saying Ty Domi did not score any overtime goals in his career.
Scored, but I said in playoffs. Remember you said to check playoffs.
Yeah.
So I put in the playoffs. And I remember him scoring the goal. Matt Sundin set him up, I bet you. He got on the ice for one shift.
No, this one's saying no, none.
How come it says here, Ty Domi scored the overtime winner of Game 5 of first round series against the Ottawa Senators, and that's when they were only with best of 5.
You said?
In 2000.
No, it wasn't a best of 5.
Still best of 7?
Yeah. Stanley Cup hasn't been like best of 5 in the first round since like the early 80s.
Really?
Yeah.
That long?
Yep.
Where have I been?
Probably smoking weed.
I don't know. Gee, sound like my granddaughter now. What's Papa doing? Just wait for the smell. It's coming. I heard her say that the other day. I said, thanks, Papa.
Oh my God,
I
you
love
guys
you
are
too.
funny.
Oh yeah. Where's Papa? He's just down there getting stoned. Don't worry about him. We'll find him. Wait for the smell.
What game do you say it was?
Game 5. I hope you can find that on that.
No, Steve Thomas scored the overtime winner.
Well, what is this then? Is this false?
FakeNews.com.
Maple Leafs, Maple Leafs, Max and Father Ty Domi have made NHL
That's fake news.
Are you sure?
I found the official score sheet. Steve Thomas scored the overtime winner, Game 5, 2000.
So he's never scored an overtime goal?
No.
That's just, I don't know, man. Then why? They said it on TV, I'm sure.
No, but they said just a winning goal in the playoffs. Either way, L.A., Edmonton, we all good for that series?
I'm just saying that if they lose, I feel sorry for McDavid because I still say McDavid is one of the best players I've ever seen in the history of hockey. And those guys got to have a Stanley Cup or he'll become a Charles Barkley, and we don't want that to happen to him. He's just too good.
Let's not go there.
I think he's got lots of time to win one.
Of course.
But come on.
Doesn't
Was he
play for the
28
best franchise
now?
for this. Yes.
So do you think it's a colossal failure if L.A. knocks out
Edmonton?
Edmonton?
Of course. But then you're going to be saying the other way if LA loses to Edmonton. It's just one of those series. There can only be one winner.
Oh, I agree with that. But I mean, eventually you got to be the Brooklyn Dodgers, and eventually you beat the Yankees.
Breakthrough, yeah.
Yeah. So is this like this? Would it be 4 times now? 4th year?
Yep.
Well, it's not over yet, so I'm still saying I think, and I picked LA to win this series, didn't I?
I believe so.
Yeah, so I'm going to stick with it. I wasn't surprised with 2-0, but you never know. Like last night, I'm just thinking that LA got bushwhacked. Doughty's taking them out to some after.
You took LA in 6.
In 6, okay. I'm still saying that's a realistic possibility. Doughty took all the boys out with Kopitar, got the young guys, Byfield, and them said, hey, listen. There's a dispensary down the road here. Let's just sit around and talk.
Okay.
We got hit by the train. That next game, we go out, we play our game, and we're going to win. I just think that LA looks more, except for last night. But besides that, LA
Get used to a couple more of those games from Edmonton.
What's that?
Get used to a couple more games like that from Edmonton.
They're going to need it if they're going to win because they're still down 2-1. And then LA's got that amazing. They're LA and St. Louis. Their home records are just ridiculous. Yeah. So that's one thing you got to battle against. However, speaking of home thing, Toronto's been holding it pretty good at home too. So
yeah,
glad that they got that first place shit and all that. So it's going on, but keep watching the playoffs, people. As you say, we had a lot to talk about. It's been a lot of fun.
So
should we move on yet?
Well, hold on. So a couple just. I'm just going to ask you for one-word answers for these questions about other stuff around the league from teams eliminated.
Okay.
Laviolette fired from the Rangers.
Good.
Bilesma fired by the Kraken.
Confused.
I'm surprised they gave him a job in the first place.
Okay, but
and Lou's contract not renewed by the Islanders.
Gimme.
Especially with Patrick Waugh complaining.
Oh, he had to go. He had to go. Like, that dynamic wasn't working. I wonder who's going to come in there, though.
Oh, geez. I forgot whose name I heard associated with it.
Because you're going to have to work with Patrick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Patrick's already said what he's been very open about the condition of the roster. But look at the age difference and look at the way they played. You knew that was going to break down somewhere. It's like, whose idea was to bring in Patrick? Lou? I said Lou was on the front page, but then he wasn't the main guy to bring him in. I heard it was somebody else in the organization. We don't know. Yeah. But Lou, bye-bye. How old is he, 97?
I don't know. He's probably going to be an advisor with the Devils now or something.
Oh, someone will have him around just to be in the room when they're shooting the shit. You know, when they're having around when you're brainstorming about your team and you got that guy there. He'll be that guy because he's still a hockey brain, but the game's passed him by a bit. Mm-hmm. Look at the way some of the trades, some of the moves, some of the things he's done. Like I thought you guys made the right move when you guys kept what's his name over
Dubas over him.
Dubas over him. I thought that
Lou signed some brutal contracts with us.
Yes. No, Lou, you got to go. And Brandon, you know what? Brandon respected Lou so much. But eventually, you got to be your own team, your own man. Brendan Shannon, he respected Lou so much. But then he goes, hey, Lou, guess what? Shook your hand. Then Lou went down the road and got another job. So, No foul. No, what does that say?
No harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul, and that's just the way that it is. So we're gonna have to see how that's gonna go.
Yep. So we will turn this over to our weekend picks. So I should have specified this last week. So the way we're gonna do this is not like who wins the week for the playoffs, but it's a point system. So all right picks we get in the first round are worth 1 point. Second round, 2 points. Conference finals, 3 points. And then right picks we make in the finals are going to be worth 5 points.
Perfect.
So last week I was a perfect 5 for 5. You were 3 for 5.
Oh, well. I took the Habs, right?
No, the Habs didn't play last week. And you took New Jersey to win in Carolina game 1. And you took Dallas to win at home against Colorado. But it's okay. It's a new day.
Yes, it is.
8 games on the schedule for this weekend. All 8 series in action. First up, starting at 1 o'clock today, Tampa Bay versus Florida. Or Tampa Bay at Florida. Game 3. Florida leads this series 2-0. This is the only one that did not fill in coming in yet. But I will take Tampa Bay to take one on the road.
They have to. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, too. I can't see them just going down like that. I still say Florida's probably going to win the series, but I'm taking Tampa Bay today.
Agreed. Vegas at Minnesota. I'm going to take Vegas to steal game 2 and tie the series on the road.
I'm going to say that Minnesota is going to steal this game 3-1, and somehow Vegas is going to make that miraculous 3-1 comeback. Someone's got to come back from 3-1 every year in the playoffs.
It happens.
Every year. So this is the series. I'll say Minnesota's winning today with Vegas making the miracle comeback.
Toronto at Ottawa, game 4. Toronto up in the series 3-0. I'm taking the lead
we're
for
going with
sweep.
this. You know where we're going with this. Come on, we have to.
So you originally said Toronto in 5, but now you're switching.
You got to. You can't let it go 5. Get it over. When you got a stranglehold, do the job.
Yeah.
Do the job.
Dallas at Colorado, game 4. Dallas leads the series 2-1. I'm going to choose Colorado to bounce back and win on home ice.
We're pretty well the same on this. Yeah, I'm taking Colorado too. What a great series, though.
Absolutely.
What time is that game on this afternoon, right?
I believe that is at 9:30 tonight or 10.
I'll have my PVR going because I'll be out at a concert. So
9:30 start.
Okay. I'm going to tape that.
Moving to tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Winnipeg at St. Louis. Winnipeg leads the series 2-1. I'm going to choose St. Louis to win at home and even the series at 2s.
I'm saying that Winnipeg just got bum rushed. That streak at home has got to end sooner than later. I think Winnipeg's a good enough team. Not that I'm liking Winnipeg, but I got a funny feeling they're going to win this game and break the streak. It's got to be broken sometime.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's going to happen game 6. I can see it where St. Louis ties it up and then Winnipeg wins 5 and 6 to close out the series.
Interesting.
Carolina at New Jersey. Carolina's up 2-1 in this 2-1 in this series. I'm going to choose Carolina to win this one and take the 3-1 stranglehold.
No, I was with Jersey before. Maybe they've got some life. I'm going to take this one at home and thinking that probably Carolina will win in 6.
Wow, you're turning on your initial predictions because you said Carolina in 5, I believe. Or no, never mind. You said 7 for this one. Never mind.
Yeah,
never mind.
So I'm going to stick with Jersey.
Washington at...
Scarily. Not with confidence.
Washington at Montreal. Washington leads the series 2-1. I'm on Montreal to tie it at home.
And I have to take the Habs. I wouldn't. That's like betting against Jesus. No, we're taking the Habs.
And last but not least, the finale tomorrow night. LA Kings at the Edmonton Oilers. LA leads the series 2-1. I'm going to choose Edmonton to tie things up. The silence is deafening.
LA to steal one, then win it at home, and Edmonton's done.
Okay. Best of luck to you, sir.
Yes.
We picked a bunch of games that are different, so that is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the way we want it to be. Give someone something to think about.
Exactly.
You know. And before we get into the NBA, isn't it a coincidence we look over the first highlight we see from hockey when it comes on is what? The violence. Okay, next. Just saying. Just saying.
So we will move this over to the NBA playoffs where it has been a little less eventful than the NHL playoffs, but still enjoyable, I would say.
Yeah, we're getting there. First thing I want to ask you, are you happy with the refs?
I mean, I haven't seen anything really egregious.
Well, the reason I'm saying is that because I want to see more texts.
Okay.
Shut up, guys. Shut up. Leave the referees alone. I know it's the playoffs. I know no harm, no foul. But every time you go into the paint, everyone's, this is the move. Of course, you can't see that.
Yeah, well, Cruz had his hands up and his mouth agape.
Yes, that's all like, how many times have you seen that in these playoffs so far?
Yeah.
3 million from everybody. Stop it once and for all. And the only other thing I'm going to say is this, though. Defense still wins in the NBA.
Of course.
That's, when you're looking at the games, defense still wins. So,
Exhibit A, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Do you think that this series is completely over?
I mean, I called Cleveland in 5. I think Miami's going to steal one of the games at home, but I mean, no one's giving them a chance here.
Okay, well, you see, here's the deal on this, and this is what makes it so interesting, and we're saying the difference is, okay? When we're talking about the NHL to the NBA, eyes on the product kind of deal is there's been much more tightness in the games, and like you said, it gets fearful in the first round of the NBA playoffs because there are these blowouts. Like, look at Cleveland's winning by an average of 100 points? 121 to 110.
121, 112. 121 in both games.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And then to 100. So that means, guess what happens? That just tells you that the Heat has trouble playing defense, but they're just scoring anyway. They're letting it be going. But how do you talk about a series like that? I think that Orlando might be able to. I mean, the Heat might be able to win a game into it, but I'm not saying much. And what is
if Cleveland swept, I wouldn't be shocked. Put it that way.
Not only that, so now we going through all the nuances of all those series that we talked to, like the McDavid factor, what they're doing in Dallas, blah 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 blah. But when you look at this series, what are you going to say? Next.
Exactly.
Next. What do we got to talk about? The Stars are scoring. They're beating them like they should. Cleveland's going to the next round. Next. Here we go.
Basically the same for this next series, Boston versus Orlando. I know Orlando stole Game 3 at home, but we called it. That was the fallback game for Boston. Their shot's going to be falling next game. Boston in 5 still holds up.
I'm not going to have any problem with that at all. We did say Jason Tatum did sit out Game 2, but he had a bunch of points there last night. I think it's going to be fine. What is striking about this is that, one thing you see, did you see Porzingis' forehead get split open?
Yeah.
Brutal shot in the head. But that was incidental in a weird way. Like there was nothing flagrant about it. That. It was just in the play of the game. I like the fact that he came out and he wouldn't let him take all the blood off his head, and then he sunk a 3. And not only that, they got Pritchard as their 6th man of the year, which I think is pretty well deserving, as much as I hate the Celtics. He was pretty well deserving. I'm saying the same thing. I just don't see anything. I think these kids on Orlando, this is invaluable experience, though. Be going up and battling against the Celtics like that and giving your home team one game. But like you say, I think Boston's going to say, listen, we got to win this, so we'll go home and win it because we don't want to come back to Orlando.
Exactly.
So 5 games. So I think that's all we got to say. Like we were saying, sometimes Boston goes cold.
We saw this all regular season, and we saw this last year from them too, including the playoffs.
That's right. So what were they? They lost 3 games in the playoffs. It's going to be one of the 3 that they lose, so to speak. But I mean,
I believe last year too, they lost a game in the first round.
Yep,
might have been to Orlando too, actually.
Could have been. But I mean, like 95-93. You know what I mean? I thought that game 2.
Yeah, they were right there still.
Game 2, I thought Orlando tooth and nail. But you seen the experience and the defense down the end, the way that Boston locked it down. I thought they were going to do the same thing last night, or the Game 3.
Yeah.
They just missed their shots.
Exactly.
They're in the same position. They're going to miss their shots. So the percentages are going to say, guess what? Shoot your normal percentage, Orlando, you're going home. That's the end of that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But look at the guys. Look at those still, though. Tatum's averaging 26. Jalen's averaging 20-something. I think they got 3 guys doing 20. Porzingis is like doing a double-double.
Yep.
And who do we have on Orlando? Oh, yeah, we got Mr. Franz Wagner, former Michigan. He's playing his ass off. I think that the little problem with the Orlando situation is Pacheco. Is that how you say his name? I never say his name right. Pancaro. He's not quite playing as good as you think that you would. Maybe I'm lying.
Well, he's had a little bit of a tough year.
But he's still, I did not know this. He's averaging 32. I did not know that. I thought he was scoring less. But I think he's a minus as a player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As his players out there, he's trying his ass off. I thought he was doing less than that. But it could be just, the stats are telling me. I did not. I really thought that their leading scorer was Wagner, who's been playing his ass off too.
Yeah.
Like they're like Orlando's not giving this to them. by no means.
No.
They're not, not giving him no means. Yeah, it was just.
He had 32 last night, Wagner, and Banchero had 29.
Yeah. So he was.
The problem is around them has been crickets.
Agreed, but then again, you got to look at that's another thing about Banchero is his shooting percentage is a little.
Yeah, it was a little bit. He was only 40% last game.
That's right. You know what I mean?
But over the series, 47% shooting.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that,
including 47% from three.
I'll take that. He's been a little bit. I thought he was a little bit more, but I guess last night he was there in the end, and he has been playing. Sorry, buddy, I was hoping to see. Because I remember the first game, I didn't even notice him.
Yeah,
didn't even notice him, and a player of that caliber, he'll take a next step. But let's go on. Continue, Boston. There's nothing to see here.
No, but the winner of that series will play the winner of New York Knicks versus the Detroit Pistons. Detroit caught the Knicks a little bit off guard in game 2, and you maybe should argue that they should be ahead 2-1 in this series.
I'm arguing they should be ahead 3-0 in this series. My boys from Detroit are showing that they've got some mettle, but I will go with Charles Barkley on this one. When they started that game 3 at home, man, you can't come out that flat.
Yeah.
They were down. They were chasing the Knicks all game. They'd get right close, and then they would fall back. Because the Knicks are a good team. And Knicks are the favorites.
Yeah, but Detroit didn't start out scoring the Knicks until the second half, which is trouble.
Yeah, so they were just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I don't want to knock on them because they're my boys. But if you look at it, and when you look at the box score and you go across and you see what they were doing, that first quarter really killed them. They were behind. The Knicks were ready. That's an experienced team, though.
Yeah.
To know that, was one of the best players on the floor. And you look around the league, and it just started me at key players on key teams at this time. Anobi.
I knew you were going to bring him up.
Had to. The guy has been, look at his numbers all over the board, and he's probably the best defensive player in both teams. Mm-hmm. He's been so good, doing so much. You know what I mean? What did he score last night?
22.
Yeah. And I think he had 8 boards, too, didn't he?
Only 2 boards, no assists.
Oh, I thought he had more boards, but he is.
Bridges had 20 and 7.
Yeah, well, that's a good combo. Yeah. And the Bridges and Obi guy, and they're both good on both ends of the floor.
Yep.
The thing about Detroit is, and this is what always going to kill you, is inexperience.
Yes.
It's the inexperience.
You got to go through the ringer.
You do it, but when you have the team, they can go at the Knicks. And
of course. I know the Knicks is the first time they've had 50 wins since 90 whatever, but they're a little fraudulent.
I'm going to say that too. I don't want to knock on the Knicks because they're one of the teams
they're a weird team.
Very weird team. I call them the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know what I mean?
In more ways than one.
Thank you. And you know what I mean? And they've got a lot of good players. I don't know what's wrong with them now. Normally you would think, okay, Knicks against the Pistons. This should be, put your money in. You know what I mean? But it's not working out that way because, first of all, the coach on the Lions, Bickerstaff or whatever, on the Pistons.
Yeah.
You go from 18 win team, whatever, to 40 some wins, and you're one game down in the first round of the playoffs. That boy better get a raise. It's just all there is to it. But maybe
they should have hired him as the coach initially instead of Monty.
And not only that, Monty's getting paid well for the next couple of years, man. Monty don't have to worry about
you don't got to worry about bread.
No, he's not doing it. But another thing is, if you look around the league, okay, you got Anobi. Let's look at the Raptors leftovers around the league. Is really interesting to me. Anobi, Pascal's doing his job in Indy.
Yep.
Fred VanVleet doing his job in Houston. Norm Powell doing his job in freaking L.A. It's kind of weird how that happens. What if they were all still in Toronto? What will we have? I don't know. But
I think about all the time. What if we didn't trade Norm?
Yeah, because look, that's a 4. That's a starting lineup.
Yeah,
basically right there that we could have. Throw a center in there, and what would we have? But that's the what is it? First of all, Siakam started bitching.
That was a bit of an issue there.
And Fred got his bag.
Yeah,
I don't think we're ever going to pay him that. But Fred's the floor general. He's out there. But we'll get back to this. Get back for a second. When you look at this lineup for Detroit, this is the biggest young man castaway team I've ever seen. You look at who's on. Okay, you've got. Let's see some of the guys that are on this team. Tim Hardaway, Dennis Schroeder.
Well, Tim Hardaway's no young man anymore. He's 33.
This is my point. Tim Hardaway, Tobias Harris. Who am I missing?
Dennis Schroeder.
Druin. Not Druin. I can't even see his name here. Another older Drummond. Who hasn't played that much.
Malik
yet.
Beasley.
How they put them together with Cade Cunningham, Druin the kid, Thomas Stewart's on the bench. He's going to come off more. It's a good combination of they're not supposed to be there with a bunch of guys that got thrown away by their teams, hooking up with a bunch of young kids.
Kind of like the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, and then they kind of have that vibe to them. They're not as
maybe in a couple years.
Oh, a couple years, yeah. But then here's the thing: where's the door in these guys? Because these guys are getting over 30 now. Right, so how much gas? Like Schroeder,
we'll see how Detroit does next year.
Schroeder's been unbelievable, and he played for a couple copy in Toronto.
Yes, he did.
But he played.
He's only 31. He's gonna have a couple years left.
But the way he bounces, I think this is his sixth team already.
I would say more.
More?
I think so.
It's insane. But you see him scoring. He scored some huge buckets for the Pistons. He's got ice in his veins. I just think that
this is ninth team.
Ninth?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Atlanta, OKC. The Lakers, the Celtics, the Rockets, the Raptors, the Nets, the Warriors, and Detroit. Yeah, he played with 3 teams alone this year.
Wow, I know. I know
Brooklyn,
he got the double
Golden
trade.
State, yeah.
He got the double trade thing. But now
playing like almost an equal amount of games between all 3 teams too. That's crazy.
But the great thing is that like he doesn't look out of place on this Detroit team. Like he's been playing great. He's been making the big shots. He's been in there in the big moments. I just think that if everyone knows, I will bleed Pistons when I have to. I just think that the Knicks. Like, I really want to say Detroit's going to win this series, but after you know what I mean? Coming down the stretch in game 1 and in game 3, those are games that the inexperience you lost on it, but they had, like, I'm contradicting myself in that. The Schroeders and those guys that have come in, Malik Beasley, that have experience, but they haven't had enough experience in big playoff games down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you guys have to take care of business game 4 at home, definitely. If not, series over.
Series is over. But anyways, Cade Cunningham is turning out to be the superstar that he said he's going to be. He's going to lead a team.
Yeah.
He's just a great player, which is going to get us to that draft. Who's the best player in that draft? Still could say Scotty Barnes could be that best player.
Sure.
But Cade's definitely knocking on the door for that status too. Because when you look at Detroit, hey Raptors, we could make that move next year. Look at our roster. Look at the Piston roster. Let's hope for some kind of jump the way the Pistons did.
Agreed. Now to close out the Eastern Conference, it's Indiana versus Milwaukee. Indiana has a 2-1 series lead where home court has reigned supreme for this one. Especially game 1, games 1 and 3, the home team has won by a significant margin. 117-98 for game 1 for Indiana. Then for game 3 the other night, Milwaukee beat them 117-101.
And that game was a gimme. Like once they got over there now.
And Dame's back too.
I hope I'm wrong. I feel something bad is going to happen in this series on a physicality level. Because these boys are starting to be mouthing too much. Like someone's going to get.
Well, they're division rivals, so they're very familiar with each other.
Okay, well then they're basically the word around the campfire is like Damian Lillard is an old man, but is it past your best before date? Indiana guys have been doing a little chirping. Siakam's been doing sneaky little dirty things.
Be careful
too.
there, boys.
That's Halliburton thinks that he's maybe a little bigger than he is. I don't think this series is over in no stretch of the imagination. I believe I took Indy, didn't I?
You did.
Mistake.
Milwaukee, Giannis has been playing like an MVP.
Oh, man.
He looks incredible.
All the basketball I've seen in all these series, how you cannot pick the Greek Freak is still not one of the 5 best players in the NBA. If you don't say that, you don't watch basketball. Mm-hmm. He does everything. He's bringing the ball up the court. They're going to wear his ass out. So they throw him
He's
down.
playing point guard,
yeah,
essentially.
He's playing point
center. It's a little bit easier now with Lillard on the court.
Yeah, he's coming out there and bringing Bobby Portis back, and now they're playing a modicum of defense. That's huge because once upon a time, the Bucks could rest their hats on their defense, especially when they had what's his name coaching, who just got fired. Like you could say, hey, look at this team, man. They can play defense. But now one of the things is there's those glue players. Like I don't think they should ever let Grayson Allen go.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And he's sitting at home right now on a mess of a team. He'll be back on another team and he'll be in a playoff, guys. But look at this, okay? Giannis averaging 35 and 14. Oh,
And the points have been basically like his averages there, like every game. It was like 32, 35, 37 or something.
Yes.
Across the 3 games. Incredible.
Okay, but Damon's going to have to pick up his scoring because he has been doing nothing. He's been shooting like shit. They've been carrying him. But look at another ex-Raptor, Gary Trent, scoring almost 20 a night.
Well, he had 37
in
last
one
game.
Yeah, like I'm saying, so there it's going to go. But they've got those guys like Kyle Kuzma was a great pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Porter was a good pickup. They just
Lopez is slowing down a little bit, but I think he's still valuable as a center.
Oh, I think he's very valuable still because you know what? He's a great rim protector. You know what I'm saying? Now,
and he can move outside for the shot, too.
But he's only scoring 5-6 points a game. That's another guy. He should be giving you way more than that, and he's not.
Well, he was held to 0 points last game, so that dragged down his average a little bit, but I'm not too concerned about that.
I would be a little bit concerned because he's only giving me about 2.5 rebounds a night. Remember that, too?
Mm-hmm.
So he's rim protecting, and he's got some blocks.
Yeah, but rebound numbers could be a little deceptive at times, especially from the defensive end where they'll just let the point guard or they'll let Giannis take it, like one of those things, right?
I agree, but at the same time, I think if they could have had a little bit more of him in Indiana, then maybe we'd have wouldn't be looking like this is. But this could be a Homer series, too.
Or it could even be a series where, the home team wins the first 4 games, then Milwaukee just storms back games 5 and 6.
Well, you know what? I got no Indiana love whatsoever. Even though they got a pretty solid team with like Miles Turner, Halliburton, Siakam, and a few other guys. Let me take a quick look at their roster. I kind of like the way that they play, but I'm not a fan. I would rather see Giannis and Damian Moore and the rest of the playoffs.
Of course.
So Halliburton, goodbye, good riddance. I don't want to see it. I really like this Miles Turner guy, though. He's like a Swiss knife guy that does everything.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been banging. He's been, of course, he's got to be the one defending Giannis at times. That's a tall order. But he's been playing really, really well. And not only that, he sneaks out for the 3. So they play that game where they got to both defend each other on the perimeter at times.
Yeah,
and they're both big men.
Yeah.
But they got to go out in the perimeter and defend each other. Makes for an interesting game.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We'll move us over to the Western Conference where Oklahoma City is steamrolling the Memphis Grizzlies 3-0.
Nothing to see here.
I said it before, bro. Grizzlies are frauds.
Seen it. Oh, you know what? No, I can't say nothing now. I got to shut the front door. Okay, honestly, I really do. But the drag about this is the fact that
Ja versus gravity.
Oh, my God. You've seen it now, right?
Yeah.
Like, buddy, what were you doing? How many times have we said when we're here, we said, Ja, you can't play, especially when you see SGA sliding around smooth, efficient.
Yep.
Mid-range.
Oh, they're kind of like weird mirror versions of each other, right?
Exactly, and they're both great players. But come on,
of course,
anybody in the right mind, you got to take Shea now. Even though Ja's my favorite player, everybody knows that. But the bottom line is, buddy, we said if you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. And gravity's a bitch.
Yeah.
Have we heard any word yet?
I heard he's going to be out for Game 4.
He is going to be out?
Yeah.
Then it's over. Because here's the great thing you got to realize about this, guys. They had a 29-point lead.
Oh, Game 3.
You had a 29. That's when, as soon as they blew that lead, of course, 3-0 is, nobody comes back from that.
No one's ever come back to win a series in the NBA from that.
Never. So it's going to be done. But to be
up by
so
29, the report is that Morant's not going to play Game 4.
They say what his injury is?
They just had a hip.
Oh, it's his hip?
Yeah.
Because I thought it might have been his nuts. He came down in that area.
It still could be. I wouldn't disclose if it was his nuts.
Yeah, but whatever.
Shouldn't be laughing. But.
No, but I mean, the way he came down when I seen the replay, I stopped watching it. I seen one replay, and I said, no. And every time I seen it was on the news, I just looked the other way. Because look at him. He was pretty well horizontal, and then came straight down.
Insane.
Ugh. See how high he was in the air?
Just hope he's going to be okay and nothing long-term comes from this.
Exactly. And not only that, it reminds you, buddy, you gotta, you know what I mean? But no matter what you say about this, though, what about the rest of the guys on the team, like Bane, Jaren Jackson, Eby, who made that horrible.
Oh, the foul on the. He won the tip-off, and he fouls the guy. I don't get it.
Why are you being this stupid
guy?
That
was horrible.
You know what I mean?
That was horrible.
And another thing is, and this is what every team is going to have to learn to deal with. Why is Holmgren on the perimeter so much? Oh, because he can shoot a 3. But he can go inside too. Like teams, he's going to be a matchup for some teams to go.
Dangerous,
but there's nothing to see
forward.
here. Ja, we'll see you next year. Shea, keep going on your NBA season. That series is a lock of locks.
Yeah, OKC's going to sweep this if you ask us.
No kidding.
Houston versus Golden State. This one's tied 1-1. Unfortunately, Jimmy Butler went down game 2. I haven't heard word yet.
I haven't heard
him.
word either what they're going to say about him.
But they're saying a contusion, so that's usually a bad sign.
Yes. What is it? Elbow or something?
No, lower back.
Lower back. Oh.
Yeah, game 3 availability in jeopardy due to glute contusion.
Oh, he'll get out there. They'll give him a shot.
Oh,
I think
worried
they'll
about
give
the
him
guy though.
Okay, you got to. Okay, so let's put it this way: the Rockets showed in Game 1 how inexperienced they were. They let this game slip right through their fingers.
Yeah, losing by 10.
Yes, and they were in this game. They just, when it got down to the experience part, the Draymond, Butler, and of course the greatest shooter of all time, Steph Curry, just bitch slapped them.
Yeah, and Green was a non-factor. Only 7 points.
Yeah, but his defense was ridiculous. He was stealing
you
the
score,
ball.
bro. You're the team star.
Who, Draymond Green?
No, no, for Rockets.
Oh, great. He didn't
Green.
score. Oh, I thought you were talking about Draymond.
No, Jalen Green only had 7 points game 1.
Because Draymond was doing his job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he looked very inexperienced in the first game. He had a better second game, but his shooting percentage is
but he's
shit.
got to play a lot more like he did in game 2 than game 1, though.
Oh, 100%. And his shooting percentage has got to stay around there because he was bricking them all night in game 1, and they kept giving him a chance to do it. He's going to be a superstar, I think. You know what I mean?
He's certainly on that trajectory.
And they got Jabari Smith, too, don't they? Another kid that's going to get better.
And the Sengun,
yes.
was it the Turkish guy there?
Yes, they're all good, too. And you know what the thing was about game 2 that to me was why I like this guy so much, and especially when as a Raptor, is Fred VanVleet is a calming influence on the floor. The thing about Freddie is sometimes he still throws up that 3.
Yeah, he plays a little bit of hero ball.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
And when he makes it, it looks good. But in game 1, he took 2 shots he shouldn't have, which extended that 10-point lead. He should have went and looked for somebody else. But everybody else looked like they were struggling. So I understood why Fred, I'm the veteran. Let's turn it up. Whoops, didn't work that way so well. But in game 2, Fred was all over the place everywhere.
Yep.
That's what.
That's where you need him to be.
Yes, everywhere, all the time. And I like the way he played his game. I like the way he gets everybody in here. But tonight's a crucial game. I think tonight's winner could win the series.
It's going to be very interesting because Houston, they're going to be, I should say more, Golden State's going to be shorthanded by the looks of it. Even if Butler's playing at 50% or whatever.
Go right at him all night. You got young guys. Young guys run him off the floor.
It's in Golden State, though, so that's the one caveat.
That's.
I said Houston 7, you said Golden State in 6, so it's going to be a long series, I believe, either way.
I agree 100%. I'm just saying that this is the chance that I would love to see Houston go on, because I'm not one of these guys that are praying, oh, these are the stars. They've been carrying the league for years. Isn't it great to get to see them in their twilight? Fuck you.
Who cares?
Yeah, the house that happens says, who cares? Fuck you, bye. Win or don't. And we're not saying Golden State's not going to win the series, because I still think they do it with the because of the veteran presence. But without Jimmy Butler, nah, they're not going to do it. They should be.
He
a little
saved
bit
their
of
season.
Yes, he did. That's what we're saying. But look at these guys. Like, I like this Amen Thomas guy. Look what he learns to play better. Like, I just love their lineup. It's just that they all wear diapers.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. Just think about this team down the road. And not only that, what if, it's always a what if thing. Like, how old is Fred? Just early 30s, right?
Yeah.
Like, he could stick around.
He's a little bit older than me, I believe.
Yeah, but he could stick around for a while. You
Yeah.
know, with these young guys. Because you ever think Fred VanVleet could be a coach one day, too?
Why not?
He's that type of player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You look at him and go, that guy could be a coach. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, I had to rely on his smarts because he's a small guy, right?
oh, definitely. And the thing is, I think he's not scoring enough.
Sure.
He's not scoring enough. I think, but what he's doing is because you don't have 2 assists in basketball, but he brings it up and he throws it to the right guy and they make the right play. Like, whatever their systems were, because Udoka's a great coach and he's got that systems going on. But look at the guys they've got. Jalen Green, Sengun, Thomas, Jabari Smith. These guys are all under 25. Most of them are under 23. You know what I mean? And the other guy they got going for him to do all the dirty work with Draymond is Dylan Brooks.
Yes.
Dylan Brooks.
A Canadian boy.
Canadian boy who, by the way, is averaging 13 and a half, who's grabbing a bunch of boards, who's just being freaking Dylan Brooks.
Come to the Raptors, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I think he will, but I better do it soon because he'll be too old.
Yeah, I want to have him in his prime.
Yes, and he's there now. Because this contract's 5 years with Houston, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Something
it's
like
okay.
that.
We can make a trade.
Let's go do it. Anyways, I'm still saying that if Jimmy Butler doesn't play tonight, Houston, you guys got to take this game.
Exactly.
It's got to be your chance here. You know,
go
what
right
I mean?
for the jugular
while you can, because then you can get it back home. You got home field advantage. You're going to do it. I just think that you see a lot of rookie shit. It's great that Green came back the way he did in Game 2. Better see that tonight.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Otherwise, they're toast.
100%.
Number 3, LA versus number 6, Minnesota. LA finds themselves behind in the series, 2-1. Doncic, we mentioned, had the
sick
flu.
as a dog.
Yeah.
So they got.
But LA dropped Game 1 at home big time. That's a big red flag right there, if you ask me.
100%. But you know what? I'm still of the belief too that they're gonna do. The LA's gonna do this somehow. Some
LA's
way.
a flawed team, though. This is maybe the part that we underrated in this whole thing, right? They don't have a center.
Minnesota is a flawed team.
And I agree. But I'm just saying, maybe the Lakers weren't the gimme that we thought they were.
No, point well taken. And not only that, you got to.
And Minnesota, I mean, they're one of those teams that we're kind of like, come on, guys, like the whole year.
Okay, I'm going to look at Minnesota this way. Ant-Man.
Yes.
He's got the will.
Yes, he does.
He's got the will. He's going to do it, and he's calmed down flying through the air. So he's less jaw, so he's not getting himself banged up. He still goes flying through the air, but he picks and chooses, and I think he's shooting a little better than Ja. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, his shooting percentage has been pretty good this series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you know what? He's freaking chirping LeBron like no tomorrow, man. You see the kid?
Oh, you don't say.
No fear in that guy. Like he's like, fuck you, LeBron. Now, I will still say this. I think that the Lakers came out a little complacent in Game 1. Minnesota
very complacent,
but their shooting percentage will not stay that high for the game that they had. And look at when they came out in Game 2, the Lakers systematically came out, played their game over. Let's get to Minnesota. You didn't expect Luka to be sick.
Of course not.
And they had to leave him out there. Sometimes I thought maybe you should sit the guy in the bench. He was having Luka's trouble running back down the floor on the best of days. Now he's got 102 green temperature. You even see his face. You can see the look on his face.
Yeah, he still played for 39.
What's that?
He played 39 minutes last night, too.
They must have intravenous on the side. Sometimes he was dragging his ass down the floor. And to take his jump shot, he had trouble jumping off the curb. Like,
yeah.
So I'm just saying that's an anomaly. They got 48 hours to get him on the IV, clean out the system, lots of water. He'll score 40 points, and the series will be tied at 2.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think what's happening is this team, is that it's a weird matchup. They don't need the center. They got to bring everybody out to the perimeter. Naz Reid can defend on the perimeter. Man. Yeah, but he's not this year. But, I mean, he is a great 6 man. But he can come out on the perimeter. Gobert can't come out in the perimeter.
No.
And his kryptonite is Luka Doncic. Those kind of guys kill him. He can get him in foul trouble in like 2 minutes. So
yeah.
Gobert is not the answer he's going to be.
LeBron, he was only held to 1 point the other night.
Who's that?
Gobert.
Yeah, and how many minutes did he play?
25.
Yeah, he didn't even play 30 minutes, and that's your guy? Because they're taking advantage of him. You know what I mean? They use him at the end for the rim protection, but when Gobert is only playing 25 minutes for you, it's not a good sign.
No.
Who's going to pick up the slack? He doesn't score anyway. Ant-Man's can't be the only one scoring. Naz Reid's got to come off the bench and scoring. Who else is going to score for him?
Julius Randle's got to do something.
Julius has been good, bad, and ugly.
Yeah.
I love Julius Randle's.
That's kind of been his career, though, don't you think?
Yes, because sometimes he looks like a superstar.
I thought coming out of college he was going to be a superstar when the Lakers drafted him.
I never thought the Lakers should have got rid of him. Like, if you look at the Lakers and all those pieces that they had drafted, they have smart enough to keep that team together right now. They'd probably be a contender.
Ingram, yeah.
Kuzma.
Yeah.
There's 2 or 3 other guys around the league with what they have now. They should have been a contender, but it's not working out that way for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, agreed.
And my other thing is, that's so who you got? You got Julius, and you've got
McDaniels.
He hasn't been scoring enough.
He got 30 points last game.
Did he?
Yeah.
What did he do the game before that?
8, but then the game before that he had 25.
Yeah, okay.
Which from like the kind of player that he is, I mean, you take that.
100% do. And I guess they do. The top 3 is there. McDaniels is playing a little bit of defense.
I think Conley's
he's Fred Van Fleet, just the older version.
Yeah, basically.
You know what I mean? And you know what? The thing about that guy is he's not afraid to take a big shot at this point in time either. Like, he's made 2 of the shots that killed the Lakers in this series so far, like big shots.
There was like a 5-year period I would have said he's probably the most underrated player in the league.
Oh, no doubt about it. I never
like
gave
the
him
Memphis days.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the thing about him is I always had to look the other way because he did play for Ohio State. So you know what I mean? Me and Ohio State.
Okay.
So I got to throw that in there. But he has had a remarkable career. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, but
Hall of very good.
Hall of very good.
And that's no indictment. That's meant to be a compliment more than anything.
He's been out there and he's playing his 25 minutes a night, and he's been solid out there. But what they're
although he could be one of those guys in 30 years when like new analytics come up and people look at his numbers and be like, oh well, actually,
I'm not going to go against that either. But I guess they're going to hang their hats on Randall and Ant-Man, and let's see where it goes. But I'm saying, and you know another good player on this guy that you always need to, DiVincenzo.
Yes. Oh, he was key for Milwaukee when they won their championship,
yes,
right?
Yes, and he's out there. He's like, okay, he just does everything.
You like a good 3-point white guy on your team.
Yeah, and I don't know, what's he only averaging, 8 so far in the series? Doesn't matter. He makes that 3 when you need it or gets the steal. Yeah. Or he just does crazy ass shit.
I'd rather have a guy like Caruso, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose.
Well, he's a poor man's Caruso, isn't he? Basically,
because Caruso's gets his elbows out there.
Oh yeah,
I love that guy.
You want him on your team too, which is kind of saying that. Didn't he play? He was on New York, wasn't he? Wasn't he? Or DiVincenzo was on New York.
Yes, he was.
That's what it was. DiVincenzo was on New York. Caruso, who did he play for before he went there?
He played with the Lakers before.
Oh yeah, the Lakers. That's what it was. But those guys are indispensable. Like they're like you got the best third line center on your team.
Exactly.
That kind of guy. But he's been really, really good. I expect the Lakers to win though. I think over the 7 games they're going to win. But I
think so too. But it's
going to be a long road.
If they lose the next game in Minnesota, they're in trouble. And then we're going to hear a lot more talk about how this season was just a proof of concept for LeBron and Luka to work together, which I think is just an excuse for them saying they couldn't get a center. But either way,
yes, you know what I mean. And LeBron's 1 year older next year.
Yes, sir.
You got to watch out for that.
Massimo, if you're listening, our bet's still on. LeBron's not going to get as many titles as Jordan.
No, I don't think so.
This is a bet going back to 2011, 2012 or something. No.
That was a good bet back then.
Maybe 2015 or something.
That was a good bet back then.
Oh, well, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
He won one with the Lakers. How long was that? That was 5 years ago, right?
5 years ago.
220, yeah.
Yep. The last series, Denver, and probably the best one in my opinion, Denver Nuggets versus the LA Clippers. My boy Kawhi playing like an MVP, and I mean Powell right there to be his Robin.
Oh, wait. Let's back that up a bit. Who is Batman on that team?
It's Kawhi.
Not Harden?
Okay, fine.
So what, Harden's a Green Hornet? Because he's not a Robin. Harden's not a Robin.
No, fair point.
So let's say they're the Avengers. They're the Avengers, or they're the Fantastic Four. And I was going to
say Justice League, just keep it in there. He could be like Superman, and Kawhi could be Batman.
Whatever the case may be, but Kawhi is ridiculous, eh? Especially, you know what? On the defensive end.
He's a killer, man. He's a killer.
He looks like 2019 all over again.
Exactly. He took the words right out of my mouth.
The knees are oiled, the shot's there, because he's got that shot that just goes clunk.
Oh, I love it. He's always been one of my favorite players to watch, going back to his days in San Antonio.
Yep. Yes. It's just too bad because he does. That's what you say. We don't like load management, and he's supposed to be the poster child.
Well, he's got a degenerative knee problem.
I think that the Clippers brought him along perfectly. Ty Lue is turning out to be an amazing coach.
100%.
Just a great coach. Knows the situation. Knows everything.
Great at adjusting on the fly too.
100%. They blew the first game. They did. Yeah. They made a couple mental mistakes.
But it's in Denver too, so I mean,
should have won. They should be up 3-0 in this series, as far as I'm concerned. And look, they were both close games. Look at 112, 110. And then when they took it to overtime.
It went to overtime.
They should have won that game. The 105-102 game, the Clippers were a little bit more comfortable than that looks, because they got a couple shots down the end and then they fouled. But the thing about Denver's a train wreck. Something's going on there. The fire coach is like, and what did I tell you? I'm looking at who's on the floor. Oh, there's the Joker.
Yep.
Oh, there's Jamal. Oh, there's Michael Porter Jr. Oh, there's Gordon. Oh, there's Westbrook. And what's going on here? I don't know. Something something's gone haywire there. I can't see them winning this series.
I call Clippers in 4. I'm sticking to that. I think they're going to win the next 2 games.
In 4?
I think I think they win game 4 at home, and I think they win game 5 in Denver.
So that'll be in 5.
Yep, that's what I said. Yeah.
So, okay, what
Clippers
did I
in
say?
5.
I said more than that.
Yeah,
I respected Denver to do more.
I think you said 6.
I expected Denver to do more. The Joker just looks like he's pissed.
Yeah, he does.
He just looks pissed the whole time.
Yeah, you said 6.
Yeah, he looks pissed the whole time when you see him, which could very well go that way because if they win tonight, they go up 3-1. Or was it last night they played, didn't it? Yeah, because I don't think they play again until...
No, they play today.
Yeah, they play
6
tonight.
p.m.
So when they, if they win tonight, they might lose in Denver, and you're right. It could be game 6 at home, but they could win the next 2.
I think they're going to win the next 2.
It's just, and you see Ballmer sitting in the crowd. He's just looking, finally, you got to look happy after all the things that have gone on with your team and the weird shit that's gone on. But this team, as they make it, and they got a solid lineup.
Yep.
Yeah, like you look at their players, like Norm Powell's playing like Norm Powell, they got their big white guy in the middle. He's been playing great, though.
Zubac?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. He's had a tremendous season as well.
Yep, and he's come around. Did they already announce the most improved player yet?
No, that's going to be coming, I believe second round is when they start to announce these things.
So Cade Cunningham is the front runner, right?
I would think so.
But isn't Vukovic one of the nominees?
I would have to check again. I don't know if have they announced the finalists?
They've announced the game 6 guy, and that was the only ones I've heard is so far as they've announced the 6th man of the year.
Okay.
And that was what's his name on Boston.
But I think that's about it for basketball. You got anything else?
I just want to say that go and watch all you Toronto fans that used to love Kawhi so much. Go take a look at they play such a cool game, eh?
Yeah.
Like they seem to play always under control. Nothing seems to bother them. They've got enough guys with experience. And Harden has just been, look at Harden. Kawhi's got 27. Harden's having 23. Zubac's having 18. Norm's playing 15. Nicholas Batum is the greatest cleanup guy you could ever want in your team. Does all the dirty work.
Yep.
He's another guy on there. Chris Dunn, God bless him. He was supposed to be a star coming out of college. He's playing his 27 minutes and great on defense. They're just so much, to me, they're just so much. And they're only running, 8 guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, basically a 7-man rotation.
Wow. Nice and tight.
Yeah, but they, that's it. Oh, and you know who's been playing a few minutes? Very surprisingly, and he's in those minutes, he's very valuable, is Mr. Ben Simmons. Mm-hmm. He's like,
quietly.
Very quietly. He's only playing 10 minutes. When he's out there, he's playing that D. You don't have to score. He doesn't he doesn't even score it, has he? He hasn't scored. He scored shit, really. But he's, you know what I mean? He's that defensive interference guy for the 10 minutes so your guys can rest on the bench. Mm-hmm. Sneaky pickup by them.
I agree.
Very sneaky pickup. But yeah, so I'm just saying this. Here's my crazy ass call. I'm not going to be surprised if the LA Clippers are in the finals.
Okay.
Like, what if they get up? Who do they play next? They don't play.
OKC.
Whoa. Then that's what we're going to see, aren't we? That's that winner there could go.
They're probably going to the finals.
Whoever wins that series is going to go, to the finals. Okay, it's been good. Good. Basketball's good. Not quite as good as hockey, but it should get better as we go along.
It will hopefully get better as we go along, and hopefully the Toronto Blue Jays get better as they go along, as it was a rough week for them. It looked good their opening against Seattle. They win the opener 3-1, but then they drop back-to-back games 8-3 Saturday, Sunday at home. Then they get swept in Houston. But a little bit of a silver lining as they get the weekend opener against the Yankees last night, although today's game was postponed due to inclement weather.
That's okay. We need the rest.
Yes.
Do you realize we got 9 hits in the Houston series?
Well, we got shut out one of the games, and we only scored 1 run the other 2, so
no,
I'm not surprised.
No. This is even worse. Did you hear what I said?
9 hits.
In one series, you got 9 hits.
Yeah.
And one of them was Clement coming in for a pinch hit. Why they're bringing him in as a pinch hitter, I don't know.
Well,
Guess it was lefty right. Yeah, it did work, thank God. Maybe the guy got excited. His team can't freaking hit. You know?
Well, we talked about this off the air. If the Jays allowed 3 or more runs, they'd look defeated in the dugout.
And they're killing the pitching. They're killing for the most part. Now we're gonna have to
Gosman, Bassett, and Francis have all been tremendous to start the season.
Barrios was good too. He played good last night.
Yeah,
he's been solid.
He's been a little hot and cold, but I mean he's had those moments. I think it's gonna get better as the season goes along, though. I'm not worried about him at all.
I'm expecting a dozen wins from all 4 of those guys.
Sure.
So you know what I mean, but that's 50 wins. Where are you gonna get the rest of them from?
I don't know.
The kid's
Where's
gone back to minor.
Scherzer come back? Or Manoah?
Oh, no, I think he's gone. Like, do you hear the report?
No.
Like, they put him on the 60 now. Isn't he on the
shit.
60? I think he went on the 60, didn't he?
What about Manoah? What's the deal with him?
Good, bad, and ugly. He's throwing.
Where, in Dunedin?
I don't know, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
I don't know. He's throwing. I've heard that, and he's getting stronger. But it's nice to bring his name up, and it would be great to see him. I'd be more looking forward to the left-handed. The left-handed.
Cheering for the guy, man.
Oh, me too. But I'm the left-hander. What's the other guy that's name starts with a T?
Tiedemann.
He's looking like he's closer. Because he came off some injury bullshit too, but he's looking like he's going to be closer to making it than everybody else.
Dude, we need a fifth starter. I can't have Rodriguez starting.
He's
going to
be going. He's going to be starting. But you know,
we're
going to
He's been awful. He's been awful this year.
Coming out of the bullpen, he doesn't come out much because I don't know what his position is. Maybe they're going to stretch him out to be the starter. He's going to have to start with next, but they're going to be able to skip him now.
His numbers last year as a starter weren't good either.
No, but what are we going to do now? Because do we skip him because we got an extra day so we can move the rotation a day?
Well, I think it buys you a little bit more time with this, yeah. But I mean,
eventually
it's going to catch up to you.
We're going to have to have a fifth starter. The great thing about it is, like I'm saying, who are the Yankees going to start this weekend? Their starters or no? They just hit.
Which is starting they didn't have Max Fried. Well, actually, Fried's playing tomorrow against Gosman, so that's going to be a good pitching matchup.
That's going to be a great matchup. The bottom line is, when you think about it, though, the Yankees are just hitting and we're not. Because when you look at the depth and breadth, look at the Yankees are already thinking about changing their closer. Came in last night, fucked up. You know what I mean? So they're already worried about what's on the back of our bullpen. And when you actually think about it, we're better on our back end.
Well, we look like a playoff bullpen.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Well, who says? I'm still breaking. We're 500 again.
Yes, we are.
We're at 500, and you know what my metric is. So we got what? 3 more days? 4 more days? Come on, guys. How many games do we got left before we get there?
1, 2, 3.
3?
Yeah.
So we got to win 2 of them, right?
Yes, we do.
And who do we play next?
Boston, but at home.
Okay, so yeah. You know, and Boston sneakily have coming along, and they got no pitching. Who's their starters? Look at their starting rotation. I'm just saying that.
Boston's been pretty disappointing to start the season.
Yeah, but they're coming along because they had a new team. They're trying to fit guys in like Bregman and what's his name?
But their starters, besides Crochet, it's been kind of a disaster.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but they're hitting their way through it too. And over the course of the season, the pitching usually catches up. So that's what I'm saying. We're already in a pitching position. Can we get our guys to, like I said at the beginning of the season, am I starting to sound like I'm beating a dead horse? Can you guys hit just 3% better? Now I'm looking for 2.
I thought we just proved your 2%, 3% theory last year.
Oh, stop it. Come on, we got to hit, guy. Look what Guerrero, what are you doing? Oh, shit, they're all hitting.
He had a home run last night, and Kirk actually was tremendous last night. A couple RBIs. He came up clutch.
Well, we needed him, too. We need him to hit 240. We need him to hit 240. Is that asking too much?
Can it be like 250? Come on.
He's never, and like you said, we both agree with this. Screw off with the Varsho coming back to save the day. I don't even want to hear that. You know what I mean? Our defense has been relatively solid, don't you think?
I agree, but that wasn't the problem the last couple of years. It's been hitting. And okay, Springer moving him near the top of the lineup, that might be a key here. In fact, I would rather do that over Varsho.
Oh, 100%. So
but then middle of the lineup's going to be an issue though, so I don't know.
What did
and we said during our meeting, no one in the minors is going to come up to save us. No one's hitting well down there in Buffalo.
No, I haven't heard of anybody say anything about anything going on.
I think like Buffalo. One guy's hitting well, but he's a little bit more off the radar. So it's not like our boy young, Martinez is hitting well.
He's underrated. I mean, the guy that you're talking about hitting like crazy is a way down here prospect. Nobody said, this guy's going to be the superstar. So we don't even know. We don't even know when Martinez comes up what he's going to do. And he's due up May 1st. When can they bring him?
Well, you can bring him up whenever, but he's not hitting well. That's the point.
Well, maybe when we get here. But you know what I'm saying? For that extra year that you keep him, they can only bring him up. So they'll save him for a year until they bring him up. What is that, another month? Well, I think what they did with Skeens last year. Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but then there's incentive now. Oh, wow, Florida just made 1-0. It's Kachuk too. Not to get too off topic, but there's incentives now where you get like draft picks if you don't hold a guy back, right? So,
all right, maybe. I'm getting a little concerned with the. My thing is that we may have some pitching, and that's all well and good, but if we don't hit like Guerrero got one last night, right?
Yeah, he did. Can I propose something to you?
What?
Let's get Nolan Arenado from St. Louis.
Let's go for it. I'm good. What are we going to give up to get him? They're going to want pitching.
Give him someone in the minors.
We don't have with Tiedemann.
Maybe Tiedemann. Yeah,
Tiedemann?
It might cost him.
Well, it's gonna have to be something on level. I love your thinking, and he's unhappy there because they've already tossed him around. We got the money.
Come to Toronto.
And you know what he'd do? He'd be our fifth. He'd put him in the fifth slot.
Exactly. We need a third baseman.
Yeah, and yes, we do a consistent third baseman. Like I'm all for that. That's a great thing. And St. Louis has got off to a start. Right?
Yeah, they're not going anywhere this year.
No, and they were supposed to because they're.
I didn't buy that though.
Where are they anyway?
They're fourth in their division, 11-15.
Yeah, no.
Congratulations, you're half a game ahead of the Pirates.
Yes. Oh my God!
But
you
the
know
standings
what?
matter too much now. But still,
one of the things that I called though is that Frank Conan would give Cincinnati the bop. They're playing 500 ball.
500, yeah.
They weren't even supposed to be there. Cubs are winning that division. Like
they're ahead, but like again.
Oh no,
still
they got some good pitching. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
They got some good pitching. Like they're going to go down there. The same thing, but
and they got Tucker too.
Yeah. So away we go. But still, when you talk about it, we're okay for the moment. Okay, we're 13-13. We got to win in the next 2 games to get in there. Run differential -14. That's taking us nowhere.
But we said this during our meeting too. Just be at least within first place by 5 games going into like June, July.
June 1st, yes, yeah. Anything, or we're in trouble.
Just don't fall behind.
Don't fall behind. And we're doing pretty good so far. And
yes.
like I'm saying, that starting pitching there, but because eventually the hitting's going to come around on an average. You got to get a little bit more hitting. You can't have
both Santander and Vlad's numbers are going to go up. You would think.
And Bichette's going to hit more, but Bichette's hitting around 300 anyway.
Yeah, but the power hasn't been there.
No, they're like it's empty calorie hitting as far as I can see it. Now. Well, the thing is that's got me about the thing there. We're going to stay with the Yankees. If we could beat the Yankees tomorrow, that would be so great because we're the Yankees. You know, they'll only be 3 games over 500, so fuck them. Boston's the one we got to beat when they come into our house. That's all there is to it. The thing that's got me, and I don't know what they do there when you're talking about the American League, is I'm saying Detroit's going to cruise to the Central Division title. And
they're only up by half a game.
Cleveland 6, they're head up again. I go, what do these guys have? And they got no name pitching. But it's solid. They're top 10 in pitching. They're metric. They're top 10, maybe even closer to top 5. Pitching, who do they got to start? I looked at their starters and I went, I don't even know that guy. I don't even know that guy. You know what I'm saying? And it seems to be working for them. I don't get it. Meanwhile, Detroit's lucky because their front 3 is good as any front 3 in the league.
Yes.
Because they got Screwball, Flaherty, and the kid.
Cy Young, Screwball.
Cy Young, Screwball, Flaherty, and that kid. What's his name? Joby or whatever?
But the Guardians can hit, though.
Oh, they've been swinging.
Quan is he's quickly become one of my favorite players in the majors.
I got him on my fantasy team. I'm very happy about that.
It's amazing that guy who just doesn't swing the bat is such a great hitter.
I don't know how he does. And his defense he's Gold Glove caliber defense,
absolutely,
too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's Gold Glove thing. But you look
not to get too off topic, but I was watching a video about him and just he'll just go into the batter's box and I will not swing at the first 2 pitches no matter where they are.
Yeah.
Insane.
Japanese, what do they call that, discipline? He's got that. And he's not as scared to swing with 2. The thing is, he's not afraid with 2 strikes.
Well, he's American, but...
Is he? But he's
from California.
But no, what's his parents from?
Okay, but you can't say Japanese because he played in America.
He did, but didn't his dad or something?
I don't know.
He's got lineage.
He went to school at Oregon State, though. Come on.
But where did his dad come from, or somewhere in the family? He's Asian, isn't he?
He is Asian.
Yeah, but he's got some lineage.
But you're making it sound like he came from there.
Discipline from the families. It's come here. He's just got that whatever about him that I just go, you know what he's got? He's got that what would you call it? That not even close to the same.
So he's of Chinese and Japanese descent.
Yeah, I knew that. But he's
his dad's side's from China, his mom's side's from Japan.
Okay. And but he's first generation here, right?
It looks like his grandparents were the ones that immigrated. So he's like me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just like the guy. Look, House That Happens, one of our new favorite ball players.
Stephen Kwan, no
doubt about it. And he hits leadoff too, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he hits leadoff too, so there's a lot of
he has to lead off when you're batting .337.
Yep. And this is that he's really come out of the blocks. His question is he going to make the next step? Oh, yes, it looks like he does. But Cleveland surprised me. Remember in the preseason I said, nah, they can't do it again. They can't do it again. They can't. Oh, gee. And look at Kansas City is supposed to be team that's threatening in there too. They're trying, but their pitching's a little bit better. They got a couple starters.
Yeah, I mean, they had a little bit of a disappointing start. Now they're red hot, though. Win their last 5 games in a row.
Yes,
Bobby Witt's still playing like an MVP.
And their first 3 starters are pretty good. Their team, like a lot of teams I've noticed, have 3 starters.
Their hitting hasn't come together, though.
No.
That's been their problem. Besides Bobby Witt and, that's really it, actually.
But you know what, though? A lot of teams around the league are having the same problem as the Jays. Seattle's the same situation. Where are they at? They're 14-12, but they can't hit a lick. They're 6 and.
And they're not going to get any better as the season goes on.
No, they're 6-4 in their last 10. Houston, they can hit. The Athletics are the surprise. I think that they can go more. They got a couple kids that are coming along. Like, what's that kid's name? The first baseman on Oakland right now. I mean, on the Athletics, he's a great player.
Yeah, not Oakland. They're just the Athletics now.
They're just the Athletics in Sacramento, which is everything.
Soderstrom.
Oh, this guy's going to be a star. Like, he's been on the way to coming there.
989 OPS. Love that.
Thank you very much. Now, he's been a little bit of a, I'm not going to say, look, he's still hitting 310 because that means he's been down
slugging 620.
Thank you very much. No, I've seen him play. I've seen him play a lot. Now, those numbers would be better because I think in the last few games, he's only been like 2 for 15, I think it is. Like, no big slump. But I think this last week, he had a couple games where he went, But look at his numbers across the board.
Well, he is tied for the major league lead in home runs.
Thanup very much.
Oh, Oakland. Oh my God, I said Oakland as well. The A's are a big sleeper team this year.
Huge. And as I'm saying, and he's up near the top in RBIs.
Yes,
I know that for sure. Like, he's having a good season. Him and the first baseman for the Tigers. I wonder who's going to be the one that plays in the All-Star game because he's having a breakout season too. So we're going to have to wait and see. But I don't think another thing about the A's though, where's their pitching? Got no pitching.
That's why they're only 500. They only have one side of the equation figured out.
And I'll just think about this.
Severino's been good. Well, I mean, Severino and Sears, but I mean, beyond that, it's been
nothing. Yeah, who they got. But you see, that's what's so weird about baseball this year, except for in the NL West. But that's a whole different galaxy, a whole different world, a whole different baseball over there. But if you look at the teams that are around 500 that are struggling to stay into the race, either they can hit or they can pitch. They can't do both.
Yes.
You look around, it's just...
Unless you're in the NL West.
Unless you're in the NL West, then you do everything. But you look at every division across every place, and there is a team like Detroit's got a nice balance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yankees don't. They hit more than they pitch. Boston's got a little bit there. Texas has got a little bit of a balance. But you look at Seattle, can't hit a lick. Absolutely, they're dying. Just look around the league. Kansas City, they can't hit. Toronto, they can't hit. Let's go west. Oh, Philadelphia and the Mets. Those 2 teams are gonna, because the Mets can pitch.
Yes,
they can freaking pitch.
The Mets look like world beaters coming out of the gate.
What's that?
They look like world beaters coming out of the gate.
They can pitch. They play defense. They can swing. Do you see Soto, who can't play D but can still throw guys out? The Teoscar Hernandez defense.
Yes.
Ain't know what you're gonna catch, but we're gonna throw your ass out.
But the Mets pitching staff. My God.
And them in San Diego too. Their front 3 are pretty good. That's why the Dodgers are still only in 3rd because they'll hit their way in, and at the trade deadline they'll pick up some more arms.
Okay, but they're a game back.
What's that?
They're a game back of first. They're right there.
Nothing to worry about. But they've got to pick up on their pitching game. I think San Francisco's got some decent pitching too.
They are better than I thought they would be.
Yes, they're looking good. They play good D too. They don't make many mistakes. They've been hitting okay. But then again, all you have to do is let's look around and see where our theories are working. Oh, NL West, top 4 teams all have plus run differential. Crazy thing is the Dodgers are only plus 5. Look at the other guys.
Still so early in the season, though.
But look at 28, 26. Oh, by the way, that Cincinnati team, plus 32. Would you say that this early in the year? That's
a surprise, yeah.
Plus 32. Okay, now let's go over here when you get the other. Philadelphia, minus 8. Some people say they have the best roster in baseball.
I had them missing the playoffs.
Do you?
Yeah.
Look, they're minus 8. What? I heard the 2 of those guys. I watch MLB Network every day. Well, you know what I'm really thinking when you go hitting 1 to 8, Philadelphia may have the best lineup in the league. Defensively, they probably do.
Defensively.
Yeah, because they got 4 or 5 guys that are contenders for Gold Gloves at every position. But it's only 26 games. That's a sample size now, though, isn't it? That's a month into the season, so we got to say.
I would say a little bit more. Wait till like mid-May before we like really start.
I really like June 1st is my barometers, the way I look at it. But still, they're still a minus. Oh, look! Let's look at this. The Texas Rangers, first in their division, 15-11, minus 13. Can't hit. Okay. Oh,
they're in a bad division though, so they can probably get away with it.
They're good, but
although Houston's starting to peek their head up.
Yes, they are, and they got a little bit of pitching too. But this is why I like my Tigers. Look at that division. Everybody's a minor. Detroit plus 30.
Yep.
That's you know what I mean? That's a potential with those three starters.
Yep.
And a couple kids, Riley Green. What's the first baseman's name on Detroit? I got to remember his name too. Starts with a T, Tolkien something. Another guy. Yeah.
That's your team. You're supposed to know.
I'm like I said, Riley Green. I like their catcher, Detroit's catcher too. Let me get the guys together.
So NL West, I want to ask you this. So could this be the first time we see all three wild cards coming from the same division?
Yes. I'll say that. Yes. Did I say yes?
You said yes.
Yes. The only one I think that could stick their nose in there is Philadelphia and Atlanta. If they're going to come around, they got to tie their shoes up because they're falling. Like they
7-3 in their last 10 though.
But they better keep going 7-3 and winning some series because all of a sudden
Philly has lost their last 5.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and they're getting spanked. But they were playing the Dodgers. So they lost 2 to the Dodgers.
Still.
So I like that. And I think the other one's San Fran. The guy's name is Torkelson. Remember?
Oh, Torkelson. Okay.
Yeah, he's been playing great ball. Look at his numbers, 7-21. He's doing okay. He could hit a little bit higher. And look at Riley Green. Why isn't he hitting more? He's only hitting 229. That's because I think he's like at an 0 for 16, something like he was hitting around 260, 270. I thought it would coming up. But I really like Detroit's lineup a lot, though. This McKinstry guy, where did he come from? He's going to be great. This Trey Sweeney guy playing shortstop, he's been freaking very, very, very good. Gilbert Torres, he's a reclamation.
Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, he's been a platoon guy. Like they're kind of platooning in Detroit, so he's playing his role there. They seem to be all right. They do. I like Detroit. I like their lineup. I like what they're there. This Dylan Dingler guy, I think he's going to be a solid catcher. Look, he's three home runs, 11 RBIs, and he's hitting 277. Not a bad start for your catcher. You know what I mean? I would take that for Kirk.
Yeah. Well, for sure.
I'd take that from Kirk. And then when you go down and you look at where are they at now? Got the wrong thing here. When you do look at Detroit, though, the interesting thing is, like I said, the front end of their pitching staff is really cool. After that, I don't know nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody. Like, who are these guys, right?
Any final thoughts for baseball?
Nah, we got to get out of here. Keep your eyes open. Hope by the time this next week that the Jays are at 500. That's all we can ask for.
Yes.
So let's have a rundown and get out of here.
Yeah, just one more thing. Just a big shout out to Clayton Kershaw throwing starts in rehab.
There you go. He's not done.
He's not done.
I wish we could say the same thing about Scherzer.
Well, hopefully he comes back. Another thing that's not quite done yet and still going is the NFL draft now. Today is day 3, rounds 4 through 7. Shedeur
What's
Sanders
the big news?
keeps falling. Round 4 completed, has still not been drafted.
How many rounds?
7.
But how many rounds are done?
4.
They've done 4 rounds and Shedeur has not been drafted?
Yeah.
That's insane. What is that? What is that? You know what that's?
They're scared of Papa.
Oh, yeah, blackballed. That's insane. I hope the Lions
do you think
pick
he goes
him.
undrafted? Do you think that's a possibility?
Oh, then that's a Dion scam. That means he just goes sign wherever he wants. Oh, gee, maybe that's what they said if we don't get in the first round, because he doesn't have to worry about money.
No.
Money's not an issue with this kid. That is, you know what? That's dirty. Like, I was waiting for him to be called in the first round. I watched the whole first round.
Everyone thought he was going to go first round.
Now they're making fun of his draft room.
Why?
Did you see the room they built for the
I
draft
saw a little
party?
bit of it.
It's very, very cool. They got money. Why not? Because he didn't go to New York.
No.
He stayed at home. So word around the campfire was they must have known that he wasn't going to go. Because you get
a lot of guys stay at home, though, now.
Yeah, why not? But, I mean, if you're up there. I just thought the great thing about the draft is the first 3 guys who went that should have gone. And then I noticed a lot of teams drafted for strength. For example, you're New England. You guys picked the best O-lineman in the draft.
We took and then a center in round 3, and we took a wide receiver and a running back.
Yeah,
so just went for need.
Yeah, you guys went for need. Another interesting thing, even though Cleveland traded down, they got extra draft picks, but they picked up.
A lot of people are saying Jacksonville gave up too much to take Travis Hunter.
Oh, I did too. I thought they gave up a little bit too much too, because they got 2 choices, right? first and
next
second.
year's first as well. Plus like a bunch of like lower picks too.
Down there. I thought they gave up a little bit more too, but Cleveland couldn't say no because what they wanted to do, they wanted to give Myles Garrett a look, so they freaking drafted the best freaking D tackle.
Yes, great move.
Well, exactly. So, and as you go down the line, all the teams did the same. Like, what did they need? Like you guys took that, you got down to San Diego. What did they need? A running back? They
LA
picked
Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah, what they do? They picked up a running back. You go around the league. The New York Giants. What did they do? They picked up a couple of linemen. Why? Because they don't have anybody to block. Because they wonder who's going to be their quarterback.
Well, they also took a quarterback not named Shedeur Sanders.
There you go. But after that, they picked up linemen, didn't they? They took him, or they had a draft early. They had 2 picks in the first round, didn't they? The Giants. And the first one, who did they take? Or did they take the tight end? Who took the tight end? That was a sneaky good move from Michigan. In the top 7. Sneaky good move. That when they took him, I said, "Ooh, smart move."
The top 5
or top 7?
Here it is. Chicago Bears. Top
Bears,
10.
yes, they took Bears. Great move to take that guy, and they took a lineman.
And the Hunter trade. So Jacksonville gave up picks 5, 36, 126, plus a first round next year for picks 2, 104, and 200.
Especially the one next year, giving up the first next year. You know what I mean? And Cleveland
gave up a high second.
Yes, but you know what's crazy though, which Cleveland's got to be laughing at, is they took the guy they wanted anyway. That was word around the campfire. They were thinking, okay, but maybe they had the second pick. They could have taken Travis, but no, they said no. We'll take the extra. They got to build more. Yeah, I thought it was a good move. Jacksonville has just been such a shitty organization. I hope the guy doesn't go there and rot.
Yeah, well, they're saying they're going to use him as a wide receiver, which is a bit of a shock.
I heard they got the double package. He's already been talking about
but they're going to primarily use him as wide receiver, they're saying.
They're idiots. They're idiots.
I'm shocked.
Like everybody and their brother Jesus come down and
they're just trying to sell jerseys.
That too. Yeah, because like sometimes Jacksonville's just that moribund freaking franchise. Just got Buddy, the Arab dude's got so much money that, you know what I mean? And who's their coach again now?
Oh, gee, I don't remember.
I forget. But anyways, we'll see what's happening. Good luck to Jacksonville.
Good luck, Jacksonville.
I wouldn't have given up that much, personally. But like I said, they need bums in the seats. They need to sell jerseys. They need to bring attention to themselves. So what do?
Yep.
That's what they did. Yep. That's anything else you want to talk about in football?
Cam Ward going number 1.
That made perfect sense. Perfect sense. Yeah.
But the Titans kind of put themselves in a position where they had to draft Cam Ward number 1. That's the issue.
100%, because they're another one that's their fan base is going, what's going on? They needed a quarterback too, right?
But you were saying before the draft, like Cam Ward's, how great is he going to be in the NFL, really?
They say he's a great leader. Okay, so what if he comes in and he's Kirk Cousins? Is that bad?
Yes.
You know what we said on the other program? A lot of guys said if he was in last year's draft, there would have been 6 guys in front of him.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I mean? So, and you know what? I think it's unfair at times that they say you judge your draft by the quarterbacks. Okay?
No.
I heard that, and
that's one position.
That's what I'm thinking too. But they judge it by the quarterbacks. I'm going, come on. Like as I heard, and Rich Eisen's the greatest. Yes. I should listen to his podcast more, but
Rich Eisen, too.
Yeah, because he's just the greatest. But he was just saying, don't forget, people, there's someone that's just going to be taken in the 4th round this year that's going to make the Hall of Fame. We just don't know who he is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Every sport.
Which, are you the one that mentioned to me, or did I hear from somebody where all the GMs are saying, well, this isn't a bumper stop draft. So in case they blow their draft, they put it out so that they don't look bad?
That's weak.
Oh, that's less than weak. Come on. And when I heard that, I went, who in the hell? First of all, when somebody put forth that preposition, I thought they should be slapped for even thinking about that.
Agreed.
That doesn't enter my mind. I'm doing what because of what? Stop it.
Covering your bases. That's sad.
That means you're already losing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're already 4th and 2.
So the last, or I guess a couple more things I want to talk about here quickly. So Ashton Genty, running back, going 6th overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. I guess running backs are back now with some of the performances we saw last year.
My prediction, failure. Ooh. We will not live up to the hype.
Too small?
Too small.
Unfortunate.
Too small.
How does Serge feel about the pick? Have you talked to him yet?
No, I haven't talked to him yet. You know what? He might be good, or you know what he's going to be? A 3-year running back.
Hopefully a little bit more.
He's sick from the waist down, but he's still like, okay, you know what the joke, you know how I knew as soon as I knew this was no good? You notice when they come in the draft and they get the mirror and they put their hat on in the mirror and they got a camera in there with those guys doing the mirror and you can see them all in there. When he came in there, he was like this. You can see the top of his head. In his eyes. What's that cartoon with the guy with his face hanging over?
Yeah, but you're a Barry Sanders guy. He wasn't the...
Barry Sanders was 2 inches taller and 10 pounds heavier. And a little bit quicker.
Okay.
Barry's a whole body bigger.
Okay, well, I'm not saying he's going to be Barry Sanders, but like there could be a road for him to hang around in the league.
Very much so when you got a Pete Carroll guy that knows how to use him.
There you go.
How much can he catch? That's what I'm saying. I didn't see him catching much in Boise.
That also depends on the system, though.
Well, they're going to have to do that anyways. Yeah. I hope he's great because I love the way he played in college. I hope I'm completely wrong. I hope he comes out and rushes for 1,000 yards in his first season. He just keeps going up. But that size scares me. And Pick and all the crew that know me in my fantasy football league, what's my theory on small running backs? I've been saying it for 20 years. And how many times have I been correct? A lot.
Last two picks I want to talk about were later in the draft. So your Detroit Lions drafted a defensive tackle from Ohio State.
Sometimes shit happens. He's a good player, though. You know that, eh?
Okay, well, that's what the really important thing is. And then another Ohio State player going to an offensive tackle going to Kansas City, which shouldn't be a surprise that they drafted an offensive tackle, given how left tackle was,
killed them.
Yeah, it was a disaster last year. And then the Super Bowl really snuck up on them.
But you get back there, because I was looking at teams and watching about it, needs and stuff, and like, I thought this year there was more, because that's what they said, like the Mel Kipers and the Charles Davises and all those guys with their mock draft. I haven't seen what Peter Schrager's is, but Peter Schrager did not have Shedeur in the first round. He's one of the few guys that said, nah, I wouldn't even take him in the first round.
Wow.
Mel Kiper had him fifth. I don't get that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, a lot of these draft mock expert guys, a lot of egg on their face this year. Like, they say it's one of the worst in 15 years. Like, usually guys
but like where your ranking is and like where guys take guys, those are two completely different questions, though.
Okay, so let's put it
As Mel Kiper, he's not telling you where the guy's going to go. He's saying these are my best guys. This is who I would take. This is the order I would do.
And so that's why we got to say it's all on potential. All these guys go out and do what those other guys say. They can still look good. Right now on paper, it's you said this guy here, this guy here, this guy here, which leads me to believe in the truth of the matter when they said after you get past the first 4 or 5 guys, all the other guys are the same till you get to 30 anyway.
So it depends on what position you're drafting too, right?
True, and what you want.
The strength of position.
It's true like that. But like, look at Chicago. What did they need? Someone said no line, but they could use a tight end. They could really use a tight end, yeah.
I don't know. I think Caleb needs some protection.
But they got some guys in the next round. They did draft some O-linemen, I do believe. But when you see this, I'm a Michigan guy. I seen his tight end. He real deal.
Okay.
He's going to be pissing me off because he's going to be playing against Detroit twice a year. That's the thing that worries me.
Good fantasy option?
I haven't seen him on the field yet. Okay. On paper, looks good, but we'll have to wait and see.
All right, and I think that'll just about do it for us now on the NFL draft. We will, I guess, do a full wrap-up next weekend, and when we see if Shedeur Sanders ended up getting picked.
And we'll take a deeper dive into it, who got what and how successful we think they're going to be.
All right. We'll move this over to our soccer report, where Toronto FC finally got their first one of the season in Salt Lake last Saturday. 1-0, Theo Carbonneau with the 9th-minute winner in that one. So I guess that banner across from BMO Field can be taken down, alluding to the wooden spoon.
I thought you should have hit the applause button there. Yeah, I seen them win, but you know what? I didn't really pay attention. Oh, Toronto won. That's great. Let's keep it going, boys.
Exactly.
Like give the people what they want, please. That's some wins. Mm-hmm.
They have another chance to win tonight. They host New York City FC at 2:30 today.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll move it over to our look across Europe. So Aston Villa smoked Newcastle.
Yes, they did.
Premier League game of the week last week, 4-1. Leicester City, it's official now, they will be relegated. The last 2 times now they've been in Premier League. This year and 2 years ago they were relegated. So for a team that won the championship, about 10 years ago, starting to find trouble. So
what happens now? Then they got to get back. They got to go win that league.
They got to win the tier below, Football League Championship,
to come back up.
Come back to Premier League. Yeah.
Wow, that could take a couple of years, right?
Well, I mean, if they win next year, they're back in it the year after, right?
How many teams go down every year? Just 1 or 2?
3.
So 3 get regulated every year?
3 get relegated and 3 get promoted. Yeah. I love this system.
Oh, yeah. They're dirty. Win or shit or get off the pot.
Exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
So Liverpool almost has their Premier League championship wrapped up. They basically need just one more point now to clinch it in front of Arsenal. Arsenal now in second place. Newcastle in third. Manchester City won today, moving them into, or last night, I believe, moving them into fourth. Chelsea won today, moving them into fifth. So those are the 5 teams who go to Champions League as it stands. Nottingham Forest found their way out, but they have a game in hand, so they're probably going to be knocking someone out. Aston Villa also knocking on the door as well.
I think Man City's going to get in, backdoor their way in.
We'll see.
Smells like it. You know.
Well, they have an FA Cup game, so they got to consider that as well. So that could throw things a little bit off balance for them. In Italy, Milan will meet Bologna in the Coppa Italia final May 14th in Rome. That ends Empoli's miracle run.
That'll be like a 50,000 people at the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge game. That's what I always heard on one of the soccer reports I seen. It's going to be huge. I didn't realize. I keep forgetting how big those stadiums are. It's like football stadiums.
That was built for the Rome Olympics, 1960.
Right, exactly.
Stadio Olimpico.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that arena's been around forever, eh?
Yeah.
But it's historic now, isn't it? Like they call it like a
landmark?
Yeah, like a landmark. I've heard that, yeah. A lot of shit went on in those Olympics, man. They're historic Olympics.
I'm aware.
Very, very, yeah.
Bologna won against Inter 1-0, my game of the week there.
Has Ali won the gold medal in those Olympics?
I believe so.
1960, yeah, he won the gold medal there too, yeah.
Inter Milan is tied with Napoli right now. 5 games left to go, each with 71 points, although Inter has the tiebreaker, so this one's going to come right down to the wire for the winner of Serie A. Atalanta's in third with 64 points. Bologna's in fourth with 60 points. And then right behind them, Juventus and Lazio, both just a point behind of that final Champions League spot knocking on the door.
And how many games left?
5 games.
Oh, Juventus of Turin.
Yeah.
Move your ass.
With the new coach.
Yeah, with the new coach, yeah.
Real Madrid topped Athletic on Sunday 1-0. Valverde had the winner in the 93rd minute, so that one coming right down to the wire. Barcelona and Madrid will meet today for the Copa del Rey final.
Who do you think's going to win? Who are you taking?
Barcelona. I think their chances, a real chance of them getting the treble this year.
It's you called it.
Yep.
You called
it. Champions League is the big one. A little bit more about that one later. Yeah. But moving to the table in Spain, still not quite over yet, although Barcelona does have a 4-point lead over Real Madrid with 5 games left to go. Atletico in third with 66 points. Athletic in fourth with 60 points. Real Betis 6 points back for that final Champions League spot.
They ain't getting there.
Probably not. Not with 5 games left.
No. And those other 4 teams have all been playing consistently well all season, so I don't see them falling off the cliff.
No, exactly.
And if they all go 500 for the rest of the year, they're all in.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what this guy was explaining.
In Germany, with 3 games left to go, Bayern Munich has actually wrapped up. They have clinched the Bundesliga title.
I still can't believe they're out of the Champions League.
I told you Inter Milan is a better team.
Yeah.
Bayer Leverkusen has also clinched a Champions League spot with 67 points. After that, it's Eintracht Frankfurt and SC Freiburg holding those final 2 Champions League spots for next year, although RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund are right there knocking on the door, hoping to get in for next year as well.
Okay, so what happens now? Bayern Munich plays these last games and they're done for the year. See you next year, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they're not even in their cup final.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. They're not even in that. So, like, a team of that good and they just go home. Go fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, boo.
Have a nice summer.
Oh, that's rough. Being up there and then just, clunk. I feel for you, Bayern Munich. I do.
They're Bayern Munich. They'll be back.
Oh, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But this is a big stub in the toe for them, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
In France, PSG got their first loss of the Ligue 1 season yesterday versus Nice. They lost 3-1 at home. But you look at the table, they've
trap game let down the whole 9 yards, don't you think?
Well, they already have their league clinched.
They're worried about their championship position.
And the Champions League is coming up too, right?
Yeah.
And plus they have their own the Coupe de France. I believe they're still got to consider that final as well. But Marseille and Monaco holding on to those final Champions League spots, although Nice with that win over PSG yesterday puts them tied with Monaco for that final spot. Strasbourg also holding on as well. Lille only 1 point back, so those final 2 spots very much up for grabs. Could be a crazy last couple weeks in France.
And they got 3 games left, right?
They have 3 games left.
3 games left.
3 or 4. I guess this is like the 4th last week this week.
This will be a dogfight going home for those spots.
But, of course, the big one this week, Champions League.
Here we go.
Leg 1 of the semifinals. We got Arsenal versus PSG on Tuesday. and Barcelona versus Inter Milan on Wednesday. Arsenal and Barcelona will be the hosts.
I'm all about Arsenal now, baby. I hope we get Arsenal. So that'll be when they play still aggregate when they get to the finals, right?
Aggregate? No. Finals only going to be one game in a neutral site.
Oh, we got to go to that. We got to find a place to watch that for sure.
So it'll be on a Sunday afternoon as well. Oh, Tampa Bay just tied it up.
Okay, so we'll have. So that'll be Arsenal and Barcelona.
I'm going to say PSG Barcelona.
Nah, I'm going to go with your theory that they'll choke.
No, but what about my Manchester City theory where it's like the oil money is finally ramping up a little bit, starting to find their way. They've been in the semifinals a lot lately, which you could not say about PSG before. So
you got a point, but this is the first time I've heard you say they're going to do anything. Usually you're on the other shoes on the other foot.
Oh, I looked at the
they're not
facts
going to do it. They're not going to do it. I'm going with the Gunners.
Okay,
I'm all Gunners.
That's your problem.
Yes. Okay.
Anything else for soccer?
No, but we'll be. I'll be keeping your eye on it. And you know what? Those games are so much fun, people. You know, and even if you don't even watch the game, just go to that site and you get like the Blue Jays in 30. They have that online. That's so cool.
Oh, yeah, on YouTube,
Yeah, you can
15-minute highlight packs.
Yeah, they're great. So I watch them all the time now. I just go to those and see what's going on because I forget what time it is. Like the game, last championship game, it was on. I got it on the box.
Yeah, they're all like 3 in the afternoon.
And then you said something like that. I came in, it was like 5:30. I went, oh, shit. I forgot all about it. Telling you how big soccer guy I am, right?
We'll keep this moving to women's hockey now, where unfortunately Canada lost in the gold medal in overtime 4-3 to the Americans.
Very good game, by the way, though.
But Canada was playing from behind the whole way.
You know what? Because they they had a couple like sketchy goals, bro. But I mean, if you look at it, we outplayed them. We were all over them all the time. We came back, and then we gave up a shitty goal in overtime. So God bless the girls. That could have gone either way. The Yanks are going to win sometimes. You can't win every game all the time. I wish we could. But
we won last year.
But it was very entertaining. You know, me and my take on women's hockey sometimes. Quality of the game was excellent. The pace was excellent. That's what I really enjoyed. But we had the Yanks on their heels all day, especially second half of the third period and most of the overtime. We took it to them, and then
but playing from behind, that's a bitch.
Yeah, you know, your legs get a little bit tired, but I was very proud of them. We dug in, we tied it, we had the chances. Our Poulan girl, I thought she was going to end it in overtime.
Oh, big shout out to her. She passed Haley Wickenheiser for most points ever at the Women's Worlds.
There you go. And I thought she had the chance to win it, and the goalie made a great save, made one of those kick out the pad saves. Good hockey. Proud of our team. Proud of our team.
And no question, Poulan, future first ballot Hall of Famer. Hands
no
down.
doubt about it. No, but you notice her on the ice every time she's out there.
Yeah.
You know, she's a very good player. Same with that Yank girl that scored. The blonde hair, you notice her every time. She's big, too. I forget her name. You know that big blonde that plays?
Coyne Schofield?
Is that her name? Big, tall, and races up and down. Like, she's a very, very good hockey player.
Yes.
Very good. Great games, great game. You know what? It's all about the quality of the game and the highest level of competition. I'm really glad. I watched the final. I watched the whole game.
Yeah.
It was very good.
I watched most of it. It was an entertaining one. Hopefully we get them next year at the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. We will.
And there we go. And congratulations to Team USA. But that means the PWHL season resumes today. Toronto will be at Boston today at 2 p.m.
Win.
They will be hosting New York on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Don't bite that, buddy. This is a nice sweater. And then
Stanley.
Then on Saturday, Toronto wraps up the season where they host the Ottawa Charge.
Was that next week?
Next Saturday will be the final regular season game.
Okay.
And then on to playoffs.
Here we go.
So ladies, get back in the saddle. We are looking forward to cheering on the Toronto Scepters as they hopefully make their way to their first PWHL final in a championship.
And we're hoping that we can campaign enough for them to get new uniforms.
Although people like them, so.
They're selling.
I know.
They see them around the city. How do you like them, really? We have this discussion. No. No.
Whatever. It's for the girls. The girls like them. We'll move this over to Formula One, where we had the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix last weekend. And Oscar won it. The first driver to not win from pole this season.
Why? Why didn't you win?
Controversy turn one.
That just you know what?
Max may have been screwed a little bit.
But you know what? This is what another thing about freaking F1. First lap, and the whole thing is a mess now. The race is a mess. Here, Stanley. He's getting rowdy because we've been here too long. Stanley, We have a Stanley incident here. Look at Mr. Milani fighting him up, but he's just smiling with him.
It's like, don't bite me, buddy. Yeah. Don't bite my sleeves.
Do you know that about a doodle? You know the doodle says that means they love you. That's the sign of a doodle loving you.
He's a good boy.
Yes, he is. But I haven't watched.
I'm a little wet now because of that, but a little moist.
He's germ free.
I know.
He's germ free. You're all good, right?
But Oscar kind of forced Max off track there. Max skipped over. And he did not give the spot back. They're saying that he gained an advantage because of that. But I mean, they said also that they wouldn't be penalizing drivers for that in the pre-race meeting, apparently.
Then they did.
Yeah, so it's a little sketchy.
Because they had to slap the villain.
Yeah.
That's what I got. But they talk about it for the whole race, and it just wrecks everything. Because, no matter what happened, we got to get to this decision. And that bugged me. So
I was a little bit surprised that Red Bull didn't tell him to give that spot back, though.
I was too, but I didn't understand that nuance after. Like, when I was watching what was going on. But to me, it kind of took away from the race because they say no matter what happens, we got to make decisions. So I kind of went, boo, this is no fun. You know what I mean? And then Red Bull wasn't going to get any more points because Sonata just got, whoops, shit happened.
What disaster.
No kidding. What's that, second corner? Second corner, the
took,
first lap.
Took our boy Gasly out of there, too.
And he came out of there looking. He wasn't happy. See Gasly when he got out of the car? I thought he was going to pull a NASCAR.
It's too bad he's got to drive that shitbox Alpine.
No kidding. But it wasn't his fault. Like,
no,
what are you going to do? He's just going, nah, really? Come on, buddy. Smuck over.
Red Bull should have hired him back as their number 2 driver.
Yes, they should. Could they have done that?
I don't know his contract situation, but
I would have taken
know.
him in a minute.
Red Bull's got money.
But did you see him when he got out? He took his helmet off and he got back to the thing. Like he was there. Like he went right to the dispensary.
Yeah.
Right to the dispensary. Or maybe that he went right to the brown liquor. One of the two. But he needed something because he was like, I felt for him though. I felt sorry for Sonata too because it wasn't a rookie mistake, but it was an oversteer.
Well, he's having issues with that car just because of how...
That's what he said. The handling got away from him.
Sensitive.
Yes, the handling got away from him and took out another guy. I felt so bad for Gasly. That's the two things right off the bat. One of my favorite drivers gets wiped out, and now we got to talk about a 5-second penalty for the next 90 minutes.
Exactly.
It just drove me crazy, That's the stuff I've got to learn about these European sports that I haven't been following my whole life. Shit's going to happen that I don't understand. Learn to live with them and go forward. But Max is my boy.
Yeah, I know.
My boy. So I got let's put a cloud. You know what it was like, when you're watching Flintstone and there's that local shower and the car's going and he drove the whole race with the local shower over his head. Wow. Oh, boo. But he still didn't drop out of third in the standings.
Yes, he's still third in the Drivers' Championship. So I'm going to go back to Alpine for one little bit. So if you believe the rumors about Doohan and his contract, the next race will be his final race with the team in Miami.
Wow. So we're going to replace him.
They have Colapinto waiting in the wings.
Oh, that's who it is. I heard them talking about that. I wasn't paying. I don't know those. I heard that guy's name come up, but I wasn't.
And Doohan, he hasn't been anything special, so I think they will toss him aside for Colapinto.
Just for a change of pace, and it's still early in the season.
Colapinto, we've seen him before with Williams. He's fast.
Yeah,
he's fast.
He's going to give her, that's for sure. And the team needs a change of pace if they're going to get some points. They want to get some money. I get it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I get it.
Gasly's going to give you a chance at points. I mean, I don't know if Doohan is.
No, I just love Gasly. I felt so bad for him. But now here comes my question of the day: who's the number 1 driver for McLaren?
We don't have a number 1 driver.
Oh, hey, Zach, then quit fucking pulling our leg. Every time we see
Ante Kopitar's friend.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Kopitar's good buddy who comes on when you see him on you know what I do? I just watch, you know how they have the show after where they talk? I just go to see what kind of idiocy that Zach's going to bring to the table. And they kind of ask him who's the number 1. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, but all the journalists there, like some of them are so weak. They just stir around questions and stuff.
They throw softballs at him. Come on.
I hate that.
No, just ask the truth. We're all waiting for you to ask it.
Where's Nico Rosberg asking what the papaya rules are? That was badass.
Yeah, okay, let's do something like that. But then Zach just sits there, and you know what? And he never gives a straight answer now because he's sitting in the bird seat, which is cool. You're there now, but come on, buddy, you guys could be running away with this if you play your cards right.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Who's your driver? Who you got to kiss today? Who you got to kiss? Because I thought Lando was their number 1. Oh, gee, but he had some problems in practice. I mean, in qualifying.
Well, he crashed in qualifying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he fucked up in qualifying. You know what I'm saying? So does that put him back?
Don't have a number 1 driver. You know the answer.
You know what? When qualifying started, the word on the campfire is they're going to have 1-2 pole.
That's the way it should have been.
But you know, when they were in practice, they said, "Oh, look at these guys; they're ready to go." And Max doesn't like the Saudi track, obviously, because he can't do Max things on it, which is cool. You learn to go there. But once he had the pull, he was like sitting, "Hey," and that was great. You know, that's why you watch qualifying, eh? See him just drive that car like a champ, man. We're going for it. And what was it? Well, 1/100th of a freaking hair?
Well, street circuits like that, like qualifying is more entertaining than the race itself more often than not.
Highly entertaining, man. When you just push the car.
Because this corner, or this race, the only places you can pass are like turn 1 of the first lap, which is what, you know,
there
Oscar
we go.
did. And then the final turn going into that final DRS straight. That's the only other spot to pass on that track.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, Max second place. Charles Leclerc completing the podium with the first podium for Ferrari.
There you go.
Good for him. Lando made it all the way up from 10th to 4th. Russell Antonelli, 5th, 6th.
So, I love that kid. Love that kid. Like every time I see him, I go, wow, I just thinking 18. But I would be remiss if we didn't say Lando did have a good race.
He did.
He did have a very good race. He did.
But he stuck behind traffic for a lot of it. So there's really, I thought he might make a push at Leclerc for that final podium spot in the last lap, but
didn't have enough time.
Exactly.
3 more laps, he might have got there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, Stan. Look at this
he knows the cue.
Yes, he does. They come over here. They can hear that from 100 miles. Anyways, we're having golden doodle moments, if that's what you want to call them.
Hamilton, 7th place, still struggling with that car. I don't think he's going to have an easy time with this car all season.
Do you think he'll even get top 5 in driver's points?
No.
They say he has a capacity
unless the Mercedes falls back,
which I don't see happening.
I don't see that either, but you never know. It's a long season. It's a long year. Sainz in 8th place, Albon 9th. A nice little result there for Williams. I think Sainz is starting to turn it on now with Williams. I think he's starting to get comfortable.
He certainly is. And our boy Hulkenberg was nowhere to be found.
Well, he drives a shitbox.
But he's been doing some stuff.
Or wheelie bin, I guess as the Brits would say.
He was like making a bit of a name for himself. Was nondescript in this race.
No, I mean, it all depends on the pace of the car. And I mean, that Sauber sucks. So
and not only that, when you add on to what you were saying about the ability not to be able to pass, he was pretty well destined to be. This is where you're going to be, buddy.
Yeah.
You know,
and
something about that guy's growing on me. I don't know.
Hulkenberg, he's a good veteran.
Yeah, something about him I like. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but.
And then Hadjar completing the points with the number 10 result for RB, which is still funny considering he passed Tsunoda. More points than him once again.
There you go. And your boy Lance Stoll was nowhere to be found?
No, shocker of all shockers.
Every time I see him, I start cracking up. I go, oh, there's a whipping boy if I've ever seen one.
He's become more than just the whipping boy in the Milani household. He's been the one we kick in the face when he's down.
Oh, and you know what? Nobody... When you hear all these like commentators and all the pros, when they talk about him like,
Well, he paid his way to get to the top. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And everybody talks about him like that. You're privileged. You know that, like, you know, like nobody gives him credibility whatsoever.
No, because even like he won F3, but the way how he won it, he won like the second race of the season because of team orders. Like after the first lap, they told his teammate to step aside, and it was kind of proven that Lance was using better equipment that season, even though F3 is supposed to be a spec series. All the cars are supposed to be the same, but they had like Williams F1 parts on the car. So
and we're 3 races away from their change. They keep talking about that wing nut thing, whatever.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah, it's like 3 races away.
Spain, yeah.
They don't stop talking about it.
Well, it's going to have a huge implication on the championship, don't you think?
I want to see the difference. I'm an amateur in this, so I want to see.
Well, that's huge for aerodynamics. It's basically like a mini DRS on the straights.
Thank you very much. I understand that too. Hence the reason all that paint and the smearing and see how things were going aerodynamically. That all makes, like, it's taken me a while. Like when I first seen that painting, which I started that race, what's going on here? Now, when you're getting closer to that new date where they're going to be changing things, that's where I give Zach Brown a little credit there. He's already preparing. Like that's why he did all that stuff, thinking down the road. I don't know that.
You got that Google money. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not that well versed that I can say I'm an expert. I'm a complete amateur on this. But when you pick up the nuances along the way, a lot of times you end up going, that's interesting. What? I do a lot of that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm watching, I go, what did he say? And I rewind it, and I listen to him 3 times, and then when I'm done the 3 times listening, I'm going, I'm no smarter than I was before. You know, I'm clueless. Yo, Stanley, we're almost done.
Come on, Stanley. Hang on for 10 more minutes here, buddy.
Yes, and we'll be
Not even. So the next race will be May 4th in Miami. So that'll be next
Everybody's
weekend.
waiting for that party. Yeah, everybody's
and
waiting.
I'm waiting for a boring race to come.
But they say it's one of the parties of the year. Is that true?
I mean, I'm sure it's a good time there if you got like $1 million laying around. Either way, though, we will move this to our finale with trivia. Once again, hosted by my wonderful brother, Steven. Thank you very much, Steven.
Who's doing an outstanding job, by the way.
Thank you very much.
I forgot to ask you, I hope the Milani family had a good Easter.
We did. I hope same with the Cruz household. Come on, Stanley,
we were casual about it, as usual. 3 people doing 3 different things, and all coming together. Hey, Stanley. Stanley. What?
So...
that's just awesome.
Hey, Stanley, no biting. Come on.
Hey, Stanley.
Hey.
Look at this to interrupt the show. We got this far in the very end of the treat. The question is, what kind of golden doodles when they don't get their treat, what they're doing? I wish everyone could see what was going on. Radhika, you got to see. You better start getting jealous, man, right now. See what's going on with Stanley and Andrew.
All right, ready for trivia?
Yes, we are.
During Game 3, I'm guessing this of the Leafs series, Mitch Marner moved up to second on the Leafs' multi-assist playoff game list, passing Sittler and Salming. He only trails Dougie Gilmour, who has 18 instances. How many does Marner currently have? So how many multi-assist games in the playoffs does Marner have?
13.
I'm going to say it's less.
No.
13?
13.
No, I'm going to say it's a high single digits. I'm going to say 9.
Okay.
You're sticking with 13?
Yeah, because he had some of those times when he had a bunch and then he was shit for the rest of the way. And one year he had a great playoff, but you guys got knocked out anyway.
Yeah, the year against Tampa?
Yeah, no, I'd say. Yeah.
All right, the answer is 10.
You were close.
I was closer than you. I'll take that. Thank you very much,
Thank you very much. I thought it was double digits before. You didn't think it was double digits, right?
I said high single digits.
Oh, high single digits, which is 9.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, that's why I said 13. I said it had to be more than 10. So 10 was the low the ground. Okay, so let's be honest here. What game are you looking forward to this week? We know what I'm looking for. We know it's
Game 4. Get the brooms up, boys. We're sweeping.
Yes, and that means that the whole city's going to dance like Snoopy at the end. You know, when they all get dancing, the whole city's going to dance like that for a few days until Lucy comes out and says, Charlie, do you want to play football? Then the whole city changes.
Fuck Lucy, that bitch.
Anyways, we know what game I'm looking for tonight. I'm very interested to see who's going to be starting in goal. We haven't heard no word.
No, nothing
We're talking
yet.
here, so I've been checking on the thing. They haven't said. I'm going to have to go to left wing lock to get it out. Now, we've been a little bit longer. Hope you're going to enjoy everything we're saying.
Actually, we've been okay today, 2.5 hours.
Okay, we're good in there. We're going to have to say that we're going to have to give Stanley a significant part in the production of this show because he's still under Andrew's arm as we speak and giving me the eye like we didn't walk as far this morning. We're going right now, buddy. Once again, before I want to go, everybody that's going down tonight, have a good time at the Metallica show. It's going to be crazy because there's something else going on in the city too. Let's just be safe and show everybody that we're a great city that we are.
Yeah, and Leaf fans, be safe when celebrating the eventual series win.
Well, you know, it's going to be so crazy downtown because then you got about, how many people go down to
Scotiabank?
To Scotia with the outside game? What do you got, 5,000 in there or something?
Yeah, well, I mean, not 5,000, but I mean, it's going to be a busy night in the city.
Insanely busy. I hope everybody enjoys the show. Personally, like I said, I'm going to see one of my favorite artists' son reproduce a great record called Apostrophe. Go check it out. The Weasel's Apple at the Danforth Music Hall is also going on.
All right, Cruz, another great show. Hopefully you have a great week. I'll be wishing you to enjoy the hockey. Go Habs, go Leafs, go.
Yes, and anybody that has seen the Pink Panther on my Facebook site, which was so cool, I want to get that on a T-shirt. It was courtesy of my accomplice here. He was the one that found that. Is that AI too?
I made it with AI, yeah.
That's great. I don't care. I love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yes, it was.
I've been posting little ones of those in my group chats as well for the Leafs.
A lot of people got a kick out of my Los Angeles Kings.
Oh, the anime one?
Yes, yeah. By the way, a lot of people got a really good kick out of that too. So it's all fun to do.
I made these for the Leafs.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's why. Okay, Snoopy got owned by the Leafs, so I guess he couldn't get the Habs. But we got Pink. He's up there. So we'll give you Snoopy for now. We'll take Pink as long as we keep winning. That's all we want to do.
I got my boy Winnie the Pooh wearing a Leaf jersey too.
Oh yeah, no, that kills me. You know, my son, bless his soul, was known as Pooh for years. Got pictures of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, with him hugging Winnie the Pooh, and they look the same. It's hilarious.
There's
Anyway,
worse things you could be compared to.
Oh,
Gotta love Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie's my boy too. He's up there, definitely. But in any event, we're going to get out of here. We got a lot of things to do today. I got 3 girls I got to entertain as soon as I get off the show. Anything else you want to bring to the table?
Just that everyone hopefully enjoys all the playoff action, and go Jays, go Leafs, go Oilers, go Jets, go Habs. Let's get an all-Canadian Final Four in these Stanley Cup playoffs.
And most importantly of all, please don't forget to get out and vote.
Absolutely. That's the most important thing as well.
Let's get out and vote. Until then, my name is Cruz.
My name's Andrew Malani, and what do?
We keep the vibe alive.
Do you have a question? We'll answer it on the air. Send it to thehousethathappens@gmail.com. You can find us on Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, Player FM, Podchaser, Boomplay, and SoundCloud. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The House That Happens, and on X at House Happens.